Well, sour ropes are good. I haven't had one in forever, you know. Oh, yeah. I'll get one. Yeah, toss me one.
Well, yeah, you don't need to get it because I keep eating them.
Welcome to the AWOI Gaming Podcast. This is your podcast MC Perry, and today I'm here, of course, with my number 2, Jen. How you doing?
I'm good.
Jason,
how's it going?
Back, and Luke. Welcome back, bro.
Yeah, what's up?
How's
it again? 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. Is it February? I forgot to say it because Happy Black History Month for all you entrepreneurs out there that proved the world right. If you haven't, please make sure to study something. I don't normally say that on this podcast, but it is an important month as being a black individual and just trying to make forth some positive light on this podcast like normal. And if you're not familiar with the show, thank you for coming on. For you new time listeners and old time listeners, and just seeing a boost in like how many people are listening, it really means the world to us. And if you're not familiar with the show, we look at games in a way that they might be influential towards gamers, the gaming community, and how we can just become better people after that. So, Jason, before I accidentally cut you off, how was your week, bro?
My week was good.
That's good.
I streamed Final Fantasy Monday and Wednesday, and then I streamed Seven Days Die, a group stream on Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, cool. Jen?
It was definitely a fun week.
Those are.
I also have a dog.
He has a dog.
I'm trying to be quiet, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah,
Jen, what'd you do this week?
I read and went to work.
What'd you read?
A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
What in the world?
It's a fiction book, first of all, so I'm not trying to commit a murder.
It just sounds like a how-to guide.
Oh, gosh. That sounds like something, how to get away with murder. Like, you should just be on the show.
You didn't say like all.
That's a good show. I mean, like, me and my mom watch a lot of crime documentaries anyway. So, like, I'm pretty sure I could probably get away with murder if I wanted to, but I'm too nice and I don't think I could ever do it because I have a guilty conscience. So I'd probably be like, oh, no, I gotta go turn myself in. I can't. I killed this person.
That's a great show.
Luke, what'd you do this week?
Let's see. Just, second week, new job, loving it. It's great. Played some D&D Monday night, streamed with this guy over here, Jason, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Got another D&D session in last night. Stayed up way too late. Rolling them dice, and now we're here.
No, is it just because you had like an encounter going on situation? Like,
oh yeah, no, we had a whole big thing planned. We got the group together to go on like this expedition to the north and like trudging through the snow and rolling for random encounters and stuff, and then it culminated in like this really big story moment for one of our characters meeting with the Raven Queen, which is a pretty big central figure in like D&D lore and stuff. So it was pretty intense.
Cool. I spent I'm trying to get into that Ultra Carbon show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
Yeah,
I can't wait for
really
the new
good.
season, yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to interrupt a candy very, very quietly, and it was not going well.
It's completely fine, but is like because I know Anthony Mackie is supposed to be in season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's supposed to be the lead.
He is supposed to be the lead.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the lead character, which is Kovac.
Takeshi Kovacs.
Yeah, which is actually like an Asian dude originally, and then got sleeved into
Anthony Mackie.
Who was the actor?
The actor for season 1. I don't know his name.
Oh god.
Because that dude was good.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff though. I've seen him around. I just don't remember what his name is.
Hold on, let me.
I would have to look him up, shut him out.
Genie to the Google.
Genie to the Google for
To
that.
the Google.
So with that being said, guys, it's been a huge week for gaming, and
Yeah.
it's just crazy. First PlayStation exclusive, Dreams came out. Have you guys been able to play it yet, or?
I haven't been playing it yet, but I've seen all the reviews, and it's just blowing up. Like, it looks phenomenal. And from what I've seen, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's basically like creativity of the game, right?
Yeah,
it's just do anything you want. Game development sort of stuff, right? In a box.
Yeah, it's pretty much Little Big Planet.
Yeah,
but bigger.
That's what's good to compare it to was Little Big Planet from what I saw.
Yeah, but I said Minecraft, and I was just like, okay, yeah, but also it's little big planet and
Yeah.
Actually, and that's actually really funny because I was missing kind of that Little Big Planet vibe because of all the stuff that people did in it. But now Dreams is kind of that way. It really seems cool. Like it's just one of those things that you can just get into and lose yourself in because it's the only limit on it is the creativity of the audience, and as we all know, gamers are inherently creative.
Yeah. Oh gosh, like Jen, have you been able to play it?
I've played a little. I haven't played too much of it. Like, I haven't been able to play too much because, like I said, that book got real good, so I haven't.
Well, it just came out yesterday, so and I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. Hope you didn't fuck it up. So
It's just me. It's pretty easy not to fuck it up.
exactly.
I bought myself some good beer, and I enjoy my own company.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
like I said, I really appreciate everything that Dreams is going. Did you play the Art of Play one? The actual
Yes.
story?
Yeah.
There's a 2 to 3 hour story that's actually made in Dreams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like made in Dreams. It's like Mead Molecule made that game in the actual engine.
Huh.
So like it's only about 2 to 3 hours. It just shows you what can be done in Dreams.
The basics.
Like the basics and like,
Almost a tutorial.
yeah, like it's a tutorial, but it's a story too. It's like
Yeah.
it was really fun to play. Like I've already beaten it because I was like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
what to do? I'm just like now it's about being more creative. Like what can I do? What do I want to build?
Yeah.
And I think that is going to be the fun part because I don't really do that kind of stuff. You know, like Minecraft. I've never played it.
I played so much crap in Minecraft.
Yeah.
I try to get stoned to play it almost every time we have free time.
Like what's funny is that like I was looking at all the creations in there. Like I'm seeing like Digimon being evolved and like Pokemon in there. I'm just like Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, what?
I love that fact about it because we talked yesterday when you were saying like I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I gotta look into this more than I have so far. So I started looking into the game and the reviews and stuff and seeing stuff that people were making and like you said, it's awesome.
Yeah.
To see just the stuff because like I was a huge fan of Little Big Planet when it came out.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I loved it. Just the amount of stuff that people could put into it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to see.
Okay. So this is just based off conversation. This is like, of course, this podcast is meant to like help people like play games, like review, like that's what it's about. And like, of course, the review is in progress now because, of course, the story's beat. I can't say too much how I feel about it. And like, what I'm trying to say is that I want your takes on this too. If you are an artist or you have some type of dreams is the game for you to play to like build off of that. Now, what I'm saying about this is that I'm tired of excuses. Like, let's not say that you want to do this and like, here's your perfect opportunity to show what kind of game you would make. Play this game because that's what it's about. What do you guys have that feel about like where people say like, oh, I want to do this, but I don't know.
To me, that and I bring it up on everything. I probably still keep bringing it up. It's my stream.
Yeah.
I tried real hard at the time. I was like, I could do this. I have it. Nobody cares. Or like, something along those lines. So it was one of those things where like you're talking about, just you got a dream, go for it. And that's what kind of got me into wanting to stream. It was just like, I enjoy this content. I want to put stuff out. I want to be, something in the industry for streaming content. And that's kind of why I got into it. So, and it's the same for me. Like, I don't have many people to watch me stream, and I have no problem admitting that. Like I think the most views on one of my videos is like 8. But I like it. So chase your dreams.
Yeah. What about you, Jen?
I like I said, like I have people that come in and they're just like, if they had just done like this in this game or like put this from this game in this game, and I'm just like, there's this game coming out called Dreams. You can make that in there. Like, if you want like a Persona crossover with like Mario, you can have that in Dreams.
Yeah, that sounds dope. More I think of
That does sound amazing.
It does.
Persona Cross with anything just sounds.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool to be able to like see people that have actually like thought out like entire like gameplay stories, and I get to see it in dreams. Like, I don't have a creative bone in my body, so I probably couldn't do anything, but I have ideas for it, so maybe I can get it done in dreams. So that'd be cool. I can get Lollipop Chainsaw too.
That's 9. That's the counters at 9 for any of you keeping track.
What about you, Luke? Is it more of those?
I mean, you know, anytime you try to do something new, it's scary. You know, putting yourself out there is scary. You stay in your nice little comfort zone and stuff, and things can't hurt you. You know, you put up your walls and that sort of thing. But, you know, if you want things to change, you want to be different. If you want, you know, if you have a dream, you should try to go after it.
Yeah.
And you should, you know, you have to put yourself out there to do so. It's going to be rough and it's going to hurt. But, you know, the best things in life are hard.
Yeah.
So go for it.
I think what it is, like, we see all these memes. It's like, you can't, your first podcast might not be great, but your 50th might be better. And,
or 59th.
Yeah, 59th. I can't believe it's 59 the more I think about it. But just the fact that you want this dream, like I said, I've been talking to one of my coworkers. He's like, well, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm like, dude, you're an artist. This is right to you. Like, this is what speaks. Like, right here, put it out there. Your music's great. You can put your music in dreams. You can do all that. I saw where he told me, like, he looked at the review for IGN. He said that they put the review score in dreams, which is dope.
That is dope as hell.
I actually didn't realize that you could do so much with putting music in there.
Yeah, you can put music, you can put your voice in there too. Like,
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't realize it until I started reading the reviews and saw that you could do all that stuff. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
like it built on everything that like Little Big Planet we were talking about earlier. It's like you had like the level of creativity of Little Big Planet, and they just blew it out. It just added so much more stuff that you can do, and it's awesome.
Now, do you guys feel that the reason why this game's not getting pressed as much because PlayStation's not pushing it, or what?
I would kind of agree that PlayStation might not be pushing it, but I don't think PlayStation's really focused on anything that's not the PlayStation 5.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like if this wasn't a console release year, they'd be putting a lot more
oomph into it.
Yeah, a lot more oomph, a lot more publicity into it. That's what I was looking for.
Does it even have a physical release, or is it just PlayStation Online, like on the PlayStation Network?
There's an actual. You can get the copy.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. There's a physical copy.
Yeah.
Well, because they're really bad about that, the PlayStation Store and everything, because they put out like exclusives and like that are like PSN only games all the time, and those never get pushed. You don't hear a peep about them, you know. But it's like, if it has a physical release, sometimes they talk about it more and they, you know, pump it up or put some advertisement money into it at least. But, you know, like, I'm trying to think. Right. I can't think of an example right now. It'll come back to me in a minute, I'm sure. But, you know, there's several games on the PlayStation Store that are like really cool, like PSN only games, and they just, you know, I've never heard a peep about them, not an advertisement dollar spent on it.
Like the small indie kind of ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Indie titles?
Yeah, I think
it's my realm.
Yeah, what's the, like Sea of Solitude. I don't know if you ever played that one.
I've heard bad played it.
Amazing game. And we won't even get on top of it. I would recommend you guys to play that for, it's $20. I think it's on Steam.
20 bucks ain't bad on Steam.
It's not an ad at all. But what's the name of it? Got something to say, Jim?
No, I was thinking about a game that I can only get like on PSN.
Oh, well, I think Bloodstained is one of them.
Child of the Light. Bloodstained has a physical release.
Does it now? Because I remember when it was first.
It's Child of the Light. I was thinking about Child of the Light.
Okay, I was about to say I don't think Child of the Light has a physical release.
I think it had one on like the Vita,
Switch.
maybe.
It has one on Switch.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Child
I have a Switch now.
Yeah.
I love Child of the Light.
Hey.
Well, it's on sale on the.
Sorry.
You're fine. It's on sale on the PlayStation too. So. It's the more you look at games.
I also found out the name of that dude from Altered Carbon, just like what we started with.
What's his name?
He's Rick Flag in Suicide Squad as well.
Oh,
is he really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, he is!
Yeah. Rick Flag.
His name is Joel Kinnaman, I want to say. He's American and Swedish, which is really cool. He was also in House of Cards, apparently.
So.
Wait, who was he in House of Cards?
Oh no, let me find out.
Sorry.
Ooh, you're fine. You're fine.
I'll be back in a second.
He needs to find out who he was in House of Cards, which is a bit of a movie.
Yeah.
Not movie, show.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even finish it after all that happened to.
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
I finished it.
Okay, so
I liked it.
where would you guys like to start? I feel like we did start, but where would you like to go next?
Want to talk about Anthem?
Yeah, what about that Anthems?
Anthem.
I have no problem talking about Anthem.
Anthem.
We're being nice to Anthem today.
I will be as nice as I can be to Anthem.
Anthem.
We will be civil.
We will be civil. Anthem getting major overhaul.
Oh, it was what comment?
Bioware confirms. This was by Matt Kim at IGN. Over pretty much Casey Hudson, is that her name?
Believe so.
I won't read the full article, check it out. They agreed that it needs a lot of things to be overdone. And pretty much what she says in here is that over the coming months, we will be focusing on a longer-term redesign of the experience, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards, while preserving the fun of flying and fighting in a vast science fantasy setting. React.
I'm cool with it. Like, I honestly, like I said, like I've said for the last 2 weeks, my favorite part about Anthem was the flying and the combat. The only thing that failed was everything around it.
Yeah.
And I respect this approach because they're not doing like a lot of companies would do, which is like incremental changes. Like, what's going to bring back an Anthem player base is a one-time massive overhaul and a massive change.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that's really going to bring back the Anthem audience. Because a lot of people just were in the game and then they just left. But if you do like the incremental thing over like the next year, like if you do patches every month, you're not going to get that big bang that's going to bring people back. You're just going to kind of appease the people that are still playing. So, and I hate to say this it's going to sound negative, but it's not. You got one shot at it.
Yeah. I agree with that completely because
100.
another example of a studio that's done this for No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
So
They did
that was going to be the example that was
okay.
Is No Man's Sky did the same thing. They went quiet for 14 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they just dropped, the next update.
Yeah.
And it completely overhauled the game. And I bought it after they dropped that patch for the game. And it's a good game. I enjoyed my time playing No Man's Sky. It is very, solitary and poignant, but it is it's an intense experience in loneliness. You're alone in this vast universe. Now, of course, the Beyond update, I believe they dropped in multiplayer, so you can play 4-player co-op now. But you kind of have this whole huge universe more or less to yourself.
Game was weird in VR. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of games in VR that are awesome and lonely, solitary,
Aw.
Subnautica. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
I've never even heard of it until just now.
Oh
I
my
love
god.
it so much, and
They just released it on PS4.
Did they?
yeah, they actually did. They just released it. Stone can attest to this. I don't think you saw me for a week.
Yeah, but that's nothing new.
Yeah. I got Subnautica and played the hell out of it. It's such a cool game. It's so, and the reason I say solitary was a cool thing because basically, imagine you were by yourself in a spaceship. Spaceship crashes into a planet that's 95% water.
Mm-hmm.
And you're by yourself, and your whole goal is to salvage stuff off the ship and then try to build a way to get off the planet. That's Subnautica. But it's you're completely by yourself and alone. But the reason that I was going to bring it up is because of stuff about the multiplayer thing was they released Subnautica below. I think it's called Below Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Is the new update, and kind of didn't like it because they kind of went that multiplayer route where they kind of got rid of the core, which was the isolation factor.
I mean, that's that whole. I think we talked about it a lot the first time we were on here. Giving into fan demand, that kind of what should you do and what you shouldn't do, and that's the thing about games. It's an art, so it's about actually figuring out what you want to do with it. And then it's just like, when you give it to people, some people are going to say, yes, it's good, or yes, it's not. Jason's over trying to open a can.
Struggling.
No, I was just trying to do it quietly.
It's funny.
Fucking crack that bitch.
It's
I
funny.
didn't
He's trying to
want just
open.
make podcasters here.
He's trying to open candy. and
Hey,
he's just
they know what's up.
Yeah.
This is an explicit podcast. Want it on up, bitch. Let's go.
Sorry. I was to a point hungover this morning, so I'm hair of the dog.
So, but when I think about Anthem, it's like, I have, do I still? Yes, it's still on this laptop as we speak. I have the review ready to go for it. The reason why I didn't upload it is because, like, I didn't feel like it was right.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like there should have been more. Like, and I guess that's the problem, like, with games that are, like, games as service. Like, they release new DLC. It's like, okay, so the more DLC, there should be potential for it. But it didn't come, so it's just like, okay, then why? So, but, like, with this being said, some people think that it's too early. I'm like, it's too late to, like, come out with a statement. It should have been done 6 months ago.
The game, to me personally, is the gaming conscience is, like, the gaming community as a whole has ADHD.
Yeah.
We jump from new to the next exceptionally quickly.
Yeah, for real.
You know, you may find that one core game that you always come back to, but you keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So, like, the problem is Anthem, yes, took too long to announce it. They also took way too short in their development for the game that we got.
Yeah.
So they kind of shot. They kind of, you know, they made the shot and missed. And now they're trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, like, I can respect the company for trying to go forward and make up for what they do. But, like, it's like I said earlier, you've got one shot. Because as much as, you know, as much as gamers like to think that we're pretty open-minded towards new content, we are extremely open-minded towards new content.
Open-minded towards new content, but still closed-minded with what games we'll play.
Yep.
So,
like I said, you've got one shot. If they shoot their shot and it's great, and it's what brings back the player base that not only played, like, you know, the demo or the first launch, but also gets in a few more people due to different loops and different, you know, gameplay styles, you can get back an audience for a game, but you only have one try. Because once you shoot this and it doesn't hit, if it doesn't hit, then you've not only lost all the people that were potential players, but you've also reburned the ones that played in the beginning.
Yep.
Look at you, Bethesda.
Yeah, look at you,
With
Bethesda.
your Fallout 76 game.
So you've got
the
one
whole
shot because like I said, you know, gamers have notoriously short attention spans towards new content. So you've got one shot at this.
Yeah.
Because after that, it's over. You know, if Anthem shoots and misses, it's over.
well,
But if they shoot and they make it,
Mhm.
thumbs up.
Okay, I think for all that I know about the studio behind Bioware, I just don't want them to, like, be that studio that just goes away forever, because, like, I would like that Dragon Age 4 to come out so I can finally...
God, I love Dragon Age 4.
The demons were gone.
Shut up. Oh, that's the line off of freaking Inquisition. Every time you came anywhere near anybody was, hey, I heard the demons were gone. That became a meme in this house for like 8 months.
Hey, I heard the demons were gone.
So...
And by the way, what? I heard the demons were gone. Son of a bitch.
What if, like, I don't, like, we'll get back on just the fact that, like, what if some crazy stuff was happening in your house, and all of a sudden, like, hey, I heard the demons were gone.
That's it. All the time. It's just I'm sitting there watching TV and like Ray would poke his head over the top and go, hey. And I go, what? And he go, the demons were gone. It's like, you shut the fuck up.
But yeah, but I really hope that Bioware hits it just with Dragon Age, because that's something that I know that my dad loves, and I know a lot of people love that franchise. So it's just like Mass Effect. That too, it's like, oh, come on.
Andromeda was a bit of a miss too.
Andromeda could have been a good game if they didn't slap Mass Effect on it.
Yeah.
I stand by that statement.
And I agree. If it wasn't a Mass Effect title, it would have been alright.
Yeah.
The fact that they just invented Mass Effect Andromeda, it's like, yeah, you took a once beloved franchise. I'm looking at you, 3. Alright? You took a great franchise and ran it into the ground.
Well, see, that's the thing though, that Andromeda was supposed to be like a new start for it. It's supposed to be fresh. It's just in that universe.
Yeah.
And honestly, like there was a lot of cool stuff in that game. The problem is it was just like a buggy mess and mean doll to fuck.
Yeah. It was,
You know.
Well, once again, it was poorly executed.
Yeah.
And that gets back to what I was talking about when I was first on the podcast. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Shout out to podcast 56 or 54. Anyway, the
57.
57. Shit. I thought it was
either.
57. That's kind of why I stuttered through it. I was like, I'm trying to remember the number while I'm talking about it. Yeah, but it's just one of those things where I was just like, that's just the state of gaming. Where I feel like we can do better as a community to move forward.
Yeah.
So,
And
one of those things.
I definitely feel like Anthem, if they, there's a game there. There's a great game there, and I was all hyped for it. You know, the combat in it is awesome. The flying, it feels fantastic. I loved it. You know, the visuals, it looked great. The problem was like the story, the progression in it. You know, it was just pray to RNGesus for fucking anything to drop for you, essentially, because it was just random modifier on random modifier on random modifier to get literally anything. I played, 100 hours in it and never found a legendary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just because the game didn't fucking like me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So there's some grinding things. I think when that came out, and it was also Monster Hunter Year, which is still going strong. It's just like the actual grind system.
Well, see, that's the thing though, is that Monster Hunter respects your time at least. You know what I mean? Anthem doesn't.
Yeah.
Because Anthem is all based on RNG loot. Like there's no way to get anything specific, right? Which is why I love the changes they did in Borderlands 3. You know, used to be you could get any legendary drop of anybody, so there was no way to farm anything. There was no way to actually go and try to find the thing you wanted. You just had to hope and pray, But they completely overhauled the loot system, and they gave each boss a loot pool, like a dedicated loot pool. So, like, they would, like, this one boss would drop this particular gun or shield or something,
Mm-hmm.
And, games like that, they respect your time. Okay, because if you go in and you say, well, I want to get, a butcher, say, in Borderlands 3, right? Before, it's like, okay, well, I could spend 1,000 hours and still not get it because RNG hates me,
Mm-hmm.
But then again, they completely overhauled it, so now it's like, okay, well, you go farm this one boss for it, and you can, just keep playing that one boss over and over and over again. Eventually, you'll get it because he has a dedicated drop of that,
Yeah.
And it's just, I like games that respect your time. Anthem doesn't.
Okay.
And that was a lot of, like, speaking about that loot table, that was basically how every Borderlands was pre-Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have, shout out to Jacob Tucker and Jacob Somerville. They really love Borderlands, and it's just, they said that they used to, just loot for hours, didn't even care, because it's just fun. And
if a game has a dedicated loop like that and is super entertaining,
mm-hmm.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
Like, gamers don't mind the grind if the grind is fun.
Yeah. So when Anthem comes out, do you guys think that this is going to be a DLC kind of thing, or is it going to be a free content thing?
Honestly, the goodwill has gone so far. If it's not free content, no one will see it.
Okay.
It's true, yeah.
If they're like, hey, there's a patch to revitalize Anthem, but it's $15, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Because EA and Bioware has lost so much love because of the debacle that was Anthem. So if it's not free content, this is a mistake.
Okay.
It's true. That's what Bethesda did with 76 and with the Wasteland DLC or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just...
You mean the subscription service for Fallout 76?
No, that was Fallout 100 something. I don't know. I didn't play it, but that was dumb, charging you $100 a year.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'm not paying $100 for that. Jen, I know you have to leave here in a bit, so we're gonna do wrestling.
Wrestling.
But we're gonna do it differently. We're not gonna have you recap. That's just not genuine, like I said. So,
yeah.
Like it said, I don't go to therapy. But the therapist says start with love. What did you love about AEW this week?
Everything.
Give me your top
It's
three.
AEW. I loved everything.
Give me your top three.
Britt Baker being a heel is number 3. I just love her. I love the fact that she just lays into the crowd. I love the fact that she always calls Tony a Starbucks employee. You know, like runs the company. It's wonderful. Like the crowd singing Chris Jericho's theme song. Like ever since the Rock and Roll Rager on the boat, everyone just sings Judas, and it's the best thing. Like I cannot wait to go to Revolution and like experience this live, because like wrestling theme songs, like if they're done correctly and like everyone is into it, it gives you chills. Shinsuke Nakamura's theme, Finn Balor's entrance, being there and like the Undertaker, like if you're ever there and you get an Undertaker entrance, like it's just hair on end, like you get that spidey sense and your hair's just on end and goosebumps everywhere.
Well, I guess because you hear that bell ring. That's
You hear that bell,
what
you're just like, oh.
like what?
Bell rings, lights go out, you're just like, yeah.
You bring it hits and the whole thing. Wait, what? The second one. We're in Chicago, by the way.
It is on the 29th. I'm going to Revolution.
Nice.
I got a couple plans, so I'm real excited. And then obviously, like I got to see Jon Moxley's. It's always my number one because I love that man.
So I've watched a little bit of Raw, and I looked at some of the highlights of AEW. But like I said, we said start with love. What about the product is wrong right now?
It just, I'm getting the same stories I've gotten since 2016, and I'm just over it. I'm over Becky versus Charlotte. I'm over Becky's the man gimmick. Like it's done, it's played out. Like I need something new. I need a new champion. Her having like this Terminator kind of thing is not great. Like somebody bit her in the back of the neck and like bit her to where she's bleeding. Like this woman was like bleeding, so she like bit her tongue out of her neck. Becky was fine, got carried her backstage, took an ambulance to the hospital and then drove it back. Like some weird, it went from like Twilight to like GTA in the span of like 12 seconds. It was weird. But like, if a normal person gets bit in the back of the neck and gets a chunk taken out of their neck, they're not going to walk normally. They're not going to steal an ambulance. They're not going to push help out of the way. So I'm just over that. I'm over using dog food as a gimmick. I'm over, like, the best thing that they have right now is The Fiend, and they're putting him against Goldberg of all people.
Yeah, you did that last week too, like dog food.
You're heavyweight champion.
Stroked out for a second.
Yeah.
Dog food.
Yeah, I want to
to
talk about it.
Yeah.
That's how bad this is.
It's a new decade. We deserve new content.
I
And
deserve
new dog food.
And new dog food.
And new dog food.
And cat food.
I think I haven't actually expressed what I know every time it's like, say CM Punk. I'm like, it's true that it's great that he works for Fox and he can say whatever he wants to say on there, because it's like, you're like, look, you're not, like, people, like, you have this whole universe at your palm of your hand that really appreciates everything that you want to do, but it's like, it's not the same.
Well, I actually, since I have the network, I've been rewatching like a lot of pay-per-views. I got on this like Money in the Bank kick, so I've been watching like all the Money in the Banks. And there was one where it was John Cena versus CM Punk for like the heavyweight title in Chicago, and you know it's Punk's hometown, and like he hadn't like renewed his contract, and like he was like, I'm leaving this company with that title, and there's never been a point, like, John Cena has always been hated or loved. There's not an in-between. There have always been boos for John Cena, but if you ever watch anything and then watch how much he was hated in that particular match, it was crazy. Like, he got booed out of the arena.
Really?
It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you hate John Cena?
I don't know. You can't see him, so I don't know. It's like, how am I gonna watch like the new Fast and the Furious movie when I can't see your villain?
Yeah.
How am I gonna watch Suicide Squad when I can't see who they're talking to?
Wait, John Cena's in Suicide Squad?
Yes.
Yes.
Like James Gunn, the Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
He looks like a Ken doll.
You don't understand, like,
it's crazy.
this girl over here, number 2, Codename Kids Next Door, I don't know how you want to say it. He said, like, yeah, there's a Candid for this. And I'm just like, is that a toy?
By the way, shout out to the kids next door.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good show.
I missed that cartoon.
Yeah.
It's actually on VRV.
I saw. Yeah, that's actually what made me think of it.
I'm
Susan
so
like, I
number
was like,
3.
that's not VRV.
Yeah, so
I am so number 3. It's not even funny.
I don't even know who I'd be in that.
so, but like just to hear like just to see that and just know what John Cena stands for. It's like, no, I can never hate John Cena.
I can't. He's just such a good dude.
Yeah, I love it because like the trailer for Nine, whatever Fast and the Furious we're on at this point. Like the trailer came out for that. Like the whole wrestling fandom was like, we get a heel turn and it's for this bullshit. Really?
Yeah.
I don't see John like that. Just I will non sequitur to this trailer real quick. Like I don't see him being a villain by the end of it. I can't see him being a
well,
villain.
if we know everything about the Fast and Furious movies is about family, so
yeah.
in some way he's gonna become part of the family.
He's either gonna become part of the family or he's gonna die. There's no in between in
Yeah,
Fast
there's
and the
no in
Furious.
between. He's gonna be part of the family. Like,
So
I refuse to believe he won't be.
So what is AEW doing right then for you? Because I know they had their first transgender.
Yes,
I don't
Nyla Rose,
wanna
which is great, but
misinterpret.
the internet was so awful towards it. Like, I think even on my Facebook, somebody was like, oh, it's scripted, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, like, I get that it's scripted, it's wrestling, but, Shayna Baszler actually went to see Birds of Prey, and she made a thread of things people say in wrestling that they didn't say when they were watching, like, Game of Thrones or going to see a movie, like, oh, this was scripted, that's why Harley won, or that's why the Birds of Prey won, and oh, that was just a stunt double, like, that's fine, you can do that here, like, oh, she didn't actually get hit in the head. It was just, I get that wrestling's scripted, but, like, that's the thing about it that makes it great, because, like, you just have a script, they're not telling you what to say, like, sometimes you can tell when things are scripted because sometimes they do read like they're on a drill manual. But if you give somebody like free realm in wrestling to say what they want to say, like Jon Moxley has that power, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes.
Well, Cody better. He started the company.
Yeah, Cody the Young Bucks and Kenny. Poor Hangman Page, which is like my favorite gimmick. Jason as a wrestler is Hangman Page. There's no. Yes, you.
This me?
Yes, you are Hangman Page.
You're Hangman Page?
Yes.
So good or bad?
Look up Hangman Page.
Alright, Google.
But like recently on AEW.
Literally just stumbled on that article and I want to talk about it.
Okay.
But
they just come.
Like AEW, they have more of a realm to do what we all like the Attitude Era. We all love the Attitude Era.
So do you feel like it's a copy game right now then? Because like it feels like, I think it was months ago, like where like I heard shit, like the word shit on Raw. I'm like, wow, they haven't said this in forever.
Yeah, they actually like 1 week they said like, someone said fuck and someone said bitch and shit all in the same thing, and I was like, and they said GD.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
Like, are we in the right era right now?
I was like, this is weird, but all right. And then we had the really insane match with like Omega and Moxley back in November, I believe, which was wild. And I got to see people like rolling on thumbtacks, getting thrown on glass, thrown through tables, hit with sledgehammers, thrown into a barbed wire table, and like, yeah, maybe they're safety bridged, but people are still getting thrown through things like. Even when they get thrown on the floor, the mat that's at the bottom, like on the floor that covers the floor, is like maybe an inch thick. Mm-hmm. So it's not, and then under it is solid concrete. Yeah. It's gonna hurt when you get thrown on it.
So like
it's crazy.
When I think about it, it's just like the WWE universe is just so crazy that they can change in a heartbeat.
That's wrestling in general.
Like it can be like in the snap of a finger. Like, yep, we're gonna hate this person.
It's true.
It just.
My number. I forgot.
Yeah, what's your number one?
My number one, Jeff Cobb is in AEW, and it's like a big freaking deal because he was like one of the hottest free agents. So he is in AEW, and he is with the Inner Circle. So he's with Le Champion, Chris Jericho, and I love it. It's like I love Jeff Cobb. So, like, I'm real torn because, like, everybody just destroys Moxley every week, and he came in and destroyed Moxley, and I was like, I didn't hate it, but I hated it at the same time. Like, it's,
I don't hate it, but I get it.
I get it.
yeah, it's great. And then Joey Ryan released the part of the roster for Joey Ryan's penis party too, and I'm real excited about it.
Did you say penis?
I did.
Okay, I thought that's what you just said.
Joey Ryan.
My brain shut off.
Yeah, Joey Ryan is a notorious dick wrestler. Famous dick wrestler, Joey Ryan.
Okay. All I have to say.
Like, is an asshole or wrestles with his dick?
He wrestles with his dick. It's great.
Oh gosh, you guys are crazy.
Only once.
Living his best life. Living his best life.
I mean, if it's big enough to be a weapon, that's impressive.
All I have to say is.
Just look him up on YouTube.
All I have to say is.
I don't want to have
Oh.
penis party in anything I've got on
Just
my
look up
internet
Joey
browser
Ryan.
history.
You don't have to look up. Just look up Joey Ryan.
All I have
Actually,
to
I
say
think I
is.
sent you a Joey Ryan match, so.
All I have to say is, transgender or not, don't forget to love each other, people. That's all that matters.
It's true.
Like, I saw that, I was like, well, that's interesting. I think it's cool. But, like, love each other. Like, everyone just trying to live their best life and enjoy
Yes.
and appreciate.
Straight up.
Continue what you're saying.
Rule 1: don't be an asshole.
It's the number one rule in life, and it's the easiest one.
Yeah.
It costs zero money to be free.
Yeah.
Zero money to be free. Zero money to be nice.
It's just don't be an asshole. It's not hard.
It's true. It's the easiest thing.
So, PlayStation price. They are having a tough time figuring out what the actual price of the
I think
for
they
the
said
PS5
it
is.
costs like $450 to
Yeah,
make it.
like $450. So
Like
they're
concept parts for it and everything are like $450.
Yeah, and the whole thing is consoles are really like, they're really made to operate at a loss. It's just one of those things. So
Yeah,
like if it costs $450 to make it and they bring it out for $500, I won't be pissed. But if they bring it out for $450 or $400, they'll probably sell a lot better. But it's like I said, last week and the week before. I think $500 is the hit.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
the pricing range following traditions, $200 more than the last one.
according to Sim,
Minus like the Pro. Obviously.
according to Sim Byford at The Verge, unless Sony is willing to sell the PS5 at a loss, a $450 build cost would make the new console significantly more expensive than Sony's current $399 PS4 Pro. Is it so? Because it's a newer console, we shouldn't be upset that it's going to cost more, correct?
Especially if it's going to run better. Like, apparently it's supposed to run real well with all that backwards compatibility on it, minus, like, the PS3, because it was synced differently and things of that nature, but...
Yeah, the thing is, like, so the PS2, one of the best-selling consoles of all time, they sold that not at a loss, but at a very small profit margin. I think they made like $15 on each PS2 or $20 on each PS2. So the PS3, was famously $600 whenever it launched, and it almost killed it. Like, Xbox ran away with that generation because Sony just had a bad start out the gate with their console launch because nobody wanted to drop $600 on a fucking console.
Sure.
I don't think anyone now wants to have $600 on a console.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like $499, I think is a sweet point.
sweet point.
Yeah, I think $500 could be a good hit. I think $450 would be a better hit.
Yeah.
Like if you sold the console at $450, that would probably be the best bet. Because I don't think you could go lower than that. They could probably sell it at cost, but it wouldn't be like, we're gonna cut down the price to $400 when we're making them for $450 a piece. That's too much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
I think for me though, it's like when we start talking about all the tech and stuff. Like I've never been one for like getting the tech and like understanding what that actually means.
it's really funny because if you look at the spec list for the new Xbox and the PS5, like they're real similar. But anyway.
Yeah, but like you're saying, like, but to see like what tech is and all that, just like, so me just not even caring about that stuff. It's like, so do I get to play this game on here? That's all that matters to me at the end of the day. Because like,
It's content.
I would like to play the game. Like, it has this and that. And I'm just like, oh, well, can I play the game on there? That's all that matters at the end of the day.
You know what I won't be able to play on there?
What?
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh, gosh. We're up to 10 now?
10.
Gosh.
We've hit double digits, people.
I'm double digits. Like, you don't understand. Like, she really sent me a picture of her, like, look what I have
Oh,
to
I was cheesing. I was like, oh,
Cheesing with a copy of Lollipop.
Cheesing. I'm just like at work going like, I didn't need to see that.
I took all the effort to pull the phone out of my pocket to look at this.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like you say, it's one of the biggest games that made a big influence on you. But I'm just like, I looked at the game and just like, I'm good.
It's great. I love pitching it. It's my favorite game to pitch. That's why we have no copies of it at my store.
Jeannie, I really want to watch you play, not Lollipop Chainsaw, because I've seen you play that a lot. But I have a copy of Dead Rising up there that I want to watch you play through, because I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that sounds like something you would play.
Have you played Dead Rising, Perry?
No, I haven't. Is that the one like where you get to mix and match, or is that Left 4 Dead?
That is Dead Rising, but that's Dead Rising 2.
Okay, I've seen that played.
Yeah, Dead Rising 2 is a bit more interactive as far as building stuff. Dead Rising 1 is you play as Frank West, the action reporter.
Okay.
And he's basically you're stuck in a mall during a zombie apocalypse, and it's basically what would happen if I was stuck in a mall. Like, you can grab foam swords and beat zombies with them. You can throw CDs and shit at them. You can just go to random stores and grab random stuff and start hucking it at zombies, and it's really fun.
It's great.
Like, I think one of my favorite things to do is there's an area because the zombies aren't really that much of a threat. They're more of an inconvenience.
Yeah, they're just kind of there. They're just...
Like, and there's a limited number of zombies in the mall too, so theoretically you could kill them all. Right?
Yeah, there was actually
in
an achievement on the 360 when I played it was to kill the entire population of the town, like worth of zombies. So it was like I think it's like 11,392.
Oh,
that's such a weird number.
Because the town they based it on, they took the actual population of the town and made it an achievement.
Okay.
And it was really funny, just like the ability to you have to go through and do all that. And it's such a fun game. The amount of dumb stuff you can do in that game, I feel like you would really enjoy it, and I really want to watch it.
Well, like, I also like Lollipop Chainsaw because the guy that does the voice of Nick, which is her with the head.
Yeah, the head.
Yeah, he's from Newburgh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Voice animators that you find out, you're like, wow, really?
Yeah, you're from around here? It's like when I found out that, like, Josh Hutcherson from, like, The Hunger Games was born in, like, Utica.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lived in Covington.
The one that got me was Shepard Book from Firefly was born in lived in Evansville.
Okay.
That was me with Rami Malek. I was like, he was like, oh, I'm from, like, Indiana, like, Evansville. And I was like,
to go back off the whole console of, like, you know, what people want to play, I did see an article where it said Nintendo fans say that Nintendo doesn't have to worry about releasing another console. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm fine with it. The Switch to me is a new enough console, and I don't mean this with anything negative, but the Nintendo games aren't resource heavy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, besides Breath of the Wild, probably.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that they release is meant to run on their stuff, and it's not meant to be anything that's super taxing on the system, where they need to come out with a new gen just to keep up.
Well, Zelda is probably the only one, but I don't know if that's because...
well, it came out on the Wii U, so they're fine.
I kind of feel like Nintendo, like, plays the console war on, like, a slightly different axis than everybody else, though, too.
Yeah,
Like, they're very similar, but, like, just a little different, because their target for what they want to do with their games is different from what, like, Sony and Microsoft want to do with gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of... I've noticed a lot of, like, especially games on the Switch, they're not resource heavy. You know, but the Nintendo doesn't care about that. Like, they have their IPs, they have all their stuff, and they make good content out of what they've got. But what they have done is not dilute themselves to where their content is on other consoles where they have to fight so hard to get a base. Like, if you want to play a Zelda or a Pokemon game, you have to have a Nintendo.
Sure.
So it's just one of those things where, like, their player base is just so ingrained in the fact of needing a Nintendo console that they don't have the need to push out as many consoles as, like, PlayStation and Xbox do.
Okay. quick question: can we use your PlayStation to put on YouTube? Real
Yeah.
fast? Yeah. We're gonna.
If you just want to watch
Not
the video
even
on
listening.
YouTube, we could just see it on TV.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna watch Outriders.
Yeah.
Like that was the one that you sent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
So,
on the topic.
Like, yeah, that apparently that game was announced like just this week, like a couple days ago, and I just stumbled on an article about it, and it looks fucking legit. I want to watch the trailer.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the trailer for Outriders, published by Square.
Yeah, it's developed by people.
Yeah,
Can
they
Fly.
showed this off at E3, I believe. Like
I don't-
vaguely.
I must have missed this at E3 because I didn't see this. This
It
is the
was
first I've heard
very
about it.
vague at E3, I think.
But it's published by Square and it's made by People Can Fly developer. They're the guys that worked on Bulletstorm and they worked on one of the Gears of War Judgment title, I think is what they got. They also worked with Epic Games previously.
Jesus.
They weren't under the Epic Games umbrella and worked on Fortnite and worked on a few of their other titles.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting for you audio listeners. We're just going to pretty much just watch what they have. Is it
The snarky female lead. Yes! Alright guys, I'm in downtown Los Angeles, as you can probably
I don't think
hear.
this is it.
Surrounded by booths.
But this
of
does look
gamers
really cool.
Experiencing this
This-
game for the first time.
Sorry, this was kind of Outriders' first look. So
That's
yeah.
just some dude.
that's just some dude playing.
Just
I
playing the
apologize.
IGN
Yeah,
trailer.
just, oh, yeah,
Or
there it
the
is.
Yeah, here's the reveal trailer. Apologies.
It's,
you guys can check this out in YouTube. Holiday 2020, which is interesting.
We awoke from one nightmare into another. Not on our dying Earth,
This looks pretty.
Yeah, it looks
Just
great.
look
but
pretty.
somewhere much worse.
You definitely feel like Gears vibe in there in the combat.
Yeah.
I think they did announce this at E3, but it just
it was very vague.
I must have slept on it because I didn't see this.
It wasn't a lot. I mean, it was like a part of the
Not
launch
as our
for the
last
Xbox.
chance.
This
To
track
transit
though.
a new home. But what we
Yeah,
found
this
was
track.
I'm
painful.
gonna read
sounds
it.
great.
It
Time is
consumed.
like I'm doing something.
These vehicles look like they came out of Andromeda though.
We awoke changed.
Well, Square Enix is
The
really
anomaly
good about
unleashed within
getting
us.
your
Square puts out Tomb Raider too, so.
yeah.
Impossible power.
Gotta get that counter going.
Oh,
Shit. Okay, so
dude, I can see Sub-Zero.
Dude!
That's cool as hell.
What's with the cryo lightning gun? I need this.
I need that monster. The monster was cool.
Enoch robs us of our humanity.
wow.
Sour?
Gives us so much more. Each step
just say
taking us
Sour.
further from what we were and closer to what we must become.
That dude on the end reminds me of Joel. The young
My-
version of Joel from the last one.
My brain kind of stroked out. All I thought was I want that guy's beard.
That dude had 5 heads.
Oh wow. Just okay.
Holy shit, that looks
I
awesome.
need it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All I'm saying is, they say people can fly, and I fucking believe them. Let's go, Holiday 25.
I am in for that. I am in. I am on. That
I'm-
dude
I'm-
had 5 heads.
I'm reviewing that. Don't care. Calling dibs.
You say he doesn't care.
Right?
What was it? So pretty much, it's a good year for. I won't say good, but it's a time to be into looter shooters, I guess.
Well, I mean, looter
It's
shooters are
never a bad
popular,
time
you
for
know?
them
Like,
shooters.
you know, you got Destiny 2, of course. Anthem tried to capitalize on it. They didn't really, they kind of missed the mark there. Of course, the granddaddy of looter shooters, you know, had a release this year. Borderlands 3 came out.
Yeah.
You know, Division 2, Breakpoint has some looter shooter aspects in it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, it's a thing. It's a popular genre because it's, you know, it's kind of a mishmash of things. It takes the best parts of, like, you know, RPG stuff, like numbers and, you know, fiddling with stuff and green arrows that you love, and you get a little endorphin rush. You get those cool item drops and things like that. It's great. Love it.
So pretty much it's like Division come out with new DLC this... When's it come out? Do you know?
I think they said spring.
Oh, spring. So pretty much enough time to people to play it. Not in that, it's $3 on every store.
Dude, you need to go back to New York, which is great.
Right.
I love Division, and I try to get everyone to buy it, especially right now because it's $5 freaking dollars. Any game is worth $5. Even Anthem, you can buy that for $5, and it's worth $5.
Alright, yeah, I'll give you
That's our philosophy.
Like, Perry just looked over his stone.
I'm just thinking about, like, is it worth $5? Yeah, alright, yeah, you
It's worth $5. Stone.
I kind of want to
wasted money on worse.
Yeah, I bought Anthem for $100 because I got all the DLC with it.
So did I. That doesn't
And then you get
exist.
any DLC though.
Well, I got the
Legion of Dawn.
the Legion of Dawn
stuff.
I always
Like,
called it the Legion of Doom
But-
edition because I was
but
like,
like, I
very
guess that's
DC in my head.
I guess that's the question though. Like, did you really get DLC then?
No.
because I knew what I was getting into. I got cosmetic items and stuff that I, thought would be really cool, and I'd be able to use like for the life of the game. And I was gonna play the game a lot, and then the game kind of sucked, and it made me really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. So, he snapped that Legion of Dawn edition. I think I just got the regular edition. I was gonna buy the Legion of Dawn edition, but like I was like, $60 is enough for this.
It took all my energy to not pre-order the Ellie edition of like The Last of Us 2.
I have faith. You gotta have faith.
I have faith in that one, but I was like,
That's
do
the
I
difference.
need a life-size backpack like the one Ellie has?
Yeah,
Or do
I
I
would.
just
Do you
want the
not
statue?
though? Do you not need it?
It's also true. So I bought the collector's edition.
See, I feel like you need
So I threw
that.
that $50 on that collector's edition to start my pre-order.
I feel like you need that because also you could put the cat in there.
No, I have to buy one of the Space Cat backpacks that has like the little window so Alanon can like freak out while he's watching it.
But they have that thing in there where it has the mesh though. Did you see that?
Yeah, but he'll claw away at that like he clawed away at the box that I had when we brought him home. They put him in like a cardboard box, which was dumb. But he ate his way out of it.
This is like, just when you come up conversation questions as you go. So Square Enix has a big year ahead of it if you think about it. Just
But they don't have any Tomb Raider game.
whoa, get there.
It seems like they got enough stuff that they're putting out.
That
Yeah,
Outriders,
yeah, like I
I'm
said,
on for this Outsiders game.
Like I said,
Outriders?
I guess some
Outriders.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
You go. What's Jason?
They already have 2 titles out with this Outriders and the fact that they're doing a reimagining of Final Fantasy VII.
And Marvel Avengers too.
And Marvel Avengers. So they have 3 titles this year that are all supposed to be fire.
Yeah, well, Square they're working on that like in-house, like developing it too, right?
Yeah.
They're just publishing the Outriders game, which is like, that's not really, they're not focusing their energies on it. They're just kind of being the marketing aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's still part of their catalog. It's still a Square game.
Yeah, it's still a Square game.
Tomb Raider's the same way because Crystal does Crystal Dynamics.
Right, exactly.
But they're a branch of Square, I believe. But they put out a new trailer for Avengers, dropped the release date and all the pre-order bonuses, and that Earth's Mightiest Hero edition, kind of wanted because those blueprints look fire.
No, that's the question for you then. How do you feel about that?
Avengers?
Not Avengers, just the way that how it is being handled. Why would you go ahead and release editions like that when you had to push the game back?
I love special editions. I love steelbooks, so I get special editions no matter what because I love steelbooks. I don't know if it's like $200, but I mean, you get the blueprint of the Iron Man suit, you get the Black Widow belt buckle, you get a Cap statue, a Hulk bobblehead, and like a bunch of like cosmetic stuff. You get like pins if you pre-order at GameStop, which is real cool. But then you get a bunch of like cosmetic stuff, and I think you get an XP upgrade. I'm not 100% sure.
But I think we go back and rewind it. Yeah, the point is, the game got delayed.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what you're capable of doing in the game yet. why go ahead and announce, yeah, we have all these editions for you to get if we haven't seen anything?
If you put out those editions, usually if they do that, there's gameplay that's following. If they follow tradition, there's always a bunch of gameplay that follows. So I don't know if they're going to do something at E3 or anything like that, but using the Avengers title is really cool, and I think this game is going to be great. I don't care what anybody says.
Would you...
When is E3 this year?
June, I believe.
June 9th.
June 9th.
That's going to be a busy week just for me, because, like, just not just you guys, other people that want to come on to do it out the week. So I'm like, yo, I'm 5 podcasts in.
We have to, like, pop off for, like, 30 minutes a day and just drop E3 news. That way we don't have, like, a 7-hour podcast at the end of the week talking about E3. I gotta watch E3.
The Saturday recording of that podcast will be about 85% E3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like always, 15% other bullshit.
Yeah. Like I said, like, look, guys, I'm here Monday through Saturday. So, which is going to be interesting because EA does their conference on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be like, oh, wow. The Saturday before. That's weird. What?
No. I'll talk to you later. I just want to talk that I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
We don't have time on podcast for that.
Okay, so Outriders looking good. Like I said, that was the first time seeing it. I heard first impressions from Kind of Funny yesterday. I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. But I didn't want to watch the trailer without you guys. So like when you sent that, oh yeah, it's already
Let's do it.
Yeah, like I say, I guess like Jim was saying, it probably got announced at E3 last year, but I didn't see anything about it. I slept on it. I just stumbled on that article, and I'm like, this game looks fucking fire.
I think I want to say it was just part of, like, a montage of stuff that was coming out, because there wasn't a whole lot on it. They didn't mention a whole lot. They were like, here's this cool game. And I'm like, this kind of looks like a new game. I would like to know about it, because it actually looks decent. And then they didn't really mention it at the Game Awards. They showed it with, like, the launch for the Xbox.
My first exposure to that was...
really? Okay.
Well, my big question about it is, like, because Sony and Microsoft are now playing nice and shit, but it's up to developers. Is it going to be cross-platform? Like, this is going to be a cross-generation title. If it is also cross-platform, like, in intergenerational and stuff, too, like, that's going to blow up this
We obviously have the stuff to do that. We do it with Fortnite. You can play with people on your phone. Like
I say, because that's up to the developer to do, but it is open doors, like, Sony and Microsoft allow people to do it now.
The new Call of Duty has the cross-platform.
It requires developers to play nice with each other, or to play nice with the consoles.
I think what's going to be interesting is, like, anything that comes out holiday, should we even buy it for the last generation? Or even this generation? Like, Final Fantasy 7, not 15. Shouldn't, like, that's the thing, though. Like, if it's, like, just knowing that it could possibly be for the PS5.
No. Straight up no. Like, because we're all gamers.
Yeah.
Everyone on this podcast is a gamer. There's no denying that. Not one of us is gonna sleep on anything that's new console, new content, new whatever. So I don't think that there's a single person that if given in this podcast that given the option of playing something on the PS4 or the PS5 is gonna choose the PS4 for any reason.
Yeah.
We're all gonna get the upgrade.
Yeah, so it's like, I think we used the Breath of the Wild analogy before. Is that like it came out for the Wii U, but I know that the Switch is coming, so should I just go ahead and grab the Switch? And I made that choice. Like, yes, I want to go ahead and grab the Switch. So it's like,
my only thing.
Always gonna play better. Like new hardware is always gonna play better than old hardware.
My only thing is like, I've never gotten like a special edition version of a console or anything, because like I always get it like on launch day. I'm getting a brand new console right fucking now, and I'm gonna play my new cool shit, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I also kind of like want a pretty console too. But I don't want to buy a console again,
well,
man.
Like that was the best thing. Like everyone was like, "Oh, I got like the Project Scorpio," and it was the same Xbox X. It just had a Scorpio.
Right.
I want that. I want that Switch.
Animal Crossing.
I want that emblem.
Oh, that's already off
It's
pre-order
that's the
too.
cutest shit I've ever seen, and I need it.
It's off pre-order because of the virus. Like they're already being delayed, which
Yeah.
sucks.
Which
it could delay the PS5 and the Xbox as well.
I don't think it'll delay it. It'll probably just cause shortages.
yeah, so it's like you have to get like, I'll just
Why
pre-order.
would you wish that on me?
That's
Pre-order it when it comes out.
Look, that's what's gonna happen. I'm sorry, Jim.
Gene is gonna have to fill some phone calls.
Yep.
I already have fields of phone calls.
I can't get the PS5. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I am. Come get one.
I work on Black Friday. Like we ran out of the Mario Kart bundle of the Switch. You got Mario Kart on your Switch. $2.99. Nintendo sent us 10, and we were out. Nintendo is like, we're only gonna do X amount of ones. That's it. Nintendo's always been that way.
So,
But we gave you a $50 gift card. If you bought another Switch, you could turn around and buy Mario Kart. You just gotta pay $10.
We don't talk about Black Friday.
Ugh.
I have PTSD for Black Friday.
yes.
Same.
So, we talked a bit about E3.
Yay!
Jeff Keighley drops out of the Coliseum event. So, if anyone's not familiar with Jeff Keighley, he's been around the gaming news forever. He puts together the Game Awards. Has always been on. I think he was on Spike TV when he was on Spike TV.
I miss Spike TV.
It used to be a thing.
I miss
And-
1,000 Ways to Die.
Yes! That's my favorite show.
In his statement, he says, "For the past 25 years, I have attended every electronic entertainment expo." That's what E3 stands for, guys. He said, "Covering, hosting, and sharing E3 has been a highlight of my year, not to mention a defining part of my career. I debated what to say about E3 2020. While I want to support the developers who will showcase their work, I also need to be open and honest with you, the fans, about precisely what to expect from me. I have made it a difficult decision to decline to produce E3 Coliseum. For the first time in 25 years, I will not be participating in E3. I look forward to support the industry in other ways and at other events in the future."
I mean, he's been doing it for 25 years, so like, I feel like it's fine if he moves on and stuff, you know. But also, there is a bit of a elephant in the room about the sinking ship that is E3 itself, honestly, because when it first came into being, it was a trade show. It's a developer conference for developers by developers to show off developer things. News outlets and stuff went to it to, write about the new stuff that's coming out, to, give it to us, the gamers, people that are interested in what they're doing. And more, it got more production value, it got more, televised, streaming, the internet, the advent of the internet, of course, makes us all more connected. It makes them have an easier time of showing this off. But then the developers take note and say, well, we can do that ourselves. We can connect directly to our audience via the internet now. So do we need to go to a trade show and show off at this specific event, or can we just time our, media releases when we want, essentially? So that's what they're doing, is they're decentralizing that way. So E3, to counter that, has been trying to turn more into a con, for like a convention for, fans of gaming and gamers, and have them come in the public, as opposed to enticing developers and people that are in the industry to come to E3. So it's a major shift for E3, and it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And I don't think that this is anything out of the ordinary or anything crazy.
I don't like the fact that they're decentralizing.
Decentralizing?
Yeah, the fact that all these developers are having their own, like PlayStation's the state of play or whatever they do. I honestly don't like it. It's because like I said, gamers have notoriously short attention spans. So having all these different releases, all this different press, all this different stuff, is just, to me, not worth it, because I'm not going to pay attention. Like, the good thing about E3 week is it's everything that I would want to know about the state of gaming going forward for the year in a week. I don't have to go hunting for it on, well, what's Xbox up to? Let me wait until this random Tuesday. Or what's PlayStation up to? Okay, that's Friday at 4 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have to worry about that if it's all in the E3 block. And that may be just me being lazy.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like E3 week was a good time where you could be like, okay, this is everything that I could possibly want to know going forward over the next year development cycle on a lot of these games, or some IP or property that I would care about. But I feel like decentralizing it and going all out of the place, I just I won't pay nearly as much attention. And that's I don't know if that's just me.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not just me.
Yeah. I feel like I'm always, I guess, because just like always on the news article. Okay, what happened this day? Okay, what happened today? Okay, cool. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Like, not everyone cares about that. It's like we just want our games and go on.
Yeah, but because it's just it's more convenient for me to have like a solid week of like, here's everything we're working on. Here's everything we've got. Here's some gameplay trailers. Here's some stuff. It makes for a very rigid time frame of like, this is the week. We can know everything that's going forward.
So like, I think it's like I said, like I just try to send the whole AWOI Club to like E3. Let's just we want to go. It's like, no, you're not press. You're not industry based.
Yeah.
But we're gamers. We play the games too. Like, we're trying to get our names out too. It's like, why can't we be represented in that sense? Granted, I get it that Greg Miller can come in here and walk the show all he wants. That's Greg Miller. Leave him alone. But like, we're trying to be there with him. Like, those are like some of the people we look to and things like that. Why can't we share that moment with them?
Yeah.
How do you
also,
feel, Jen?
Sorry. Also, just real quick aside. Shout out to Greg Miller.
Yeah.
I love you. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's my boy. And like I said, what were you saying, Jen?
I don't even remember.
Either.
Oh, right. I was like, I don't even remember what I was saying. But like, I hate the fact that E3 isn't, like Jason said, I hate the fact that it's not all together. Because, like, maybe I am lazy, but I also have a lot of stuff I have to keep track of, and if I have it in a whole week, I'm going to remember it all.
Yep.
You guys watch E3 while you're at the GameStop TV? That's what I thought.
Yeah, we just started it. Like, technically it plays on the TV, but we always had it up, like, on our tablet and stuff, so we could keep up. So if people were, like, calling and asking about it, we could be like, yeah, you know, they announced it at E3, blah, blah, blah. It's not in the system yet, but, you know, once it rolls into the system, you can come in, pre-order it, blah, 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 whatever. No,
like,
that doesn't launch until next year, something like that, but, like...
Like, they literally just released or talked about it, like, 2 minutes ago. I don't have it in my system yet. I can't sell you the product yet. I'm sorry. They literally just said that they're working on it.
No,
I'm sorry.
that happened. They announced the new Elder Scrolls like last year or the year before last.
Download.
And someone was like, can I pre-order that Elder Scrolls? I'm like, no. It's just got announced.
Well, it didn't even get announced, did it? It just said Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, it just said Elder Scrolls.
You got a title on the screen, okay.
Yeah, the Zelda was like new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 in production now. Yeah. Okay. What's up?
I'm a shit on it.
Shit on it.
I'm a shit on it. No.
Take a big old shit.
No.
Like, I want a new Elder Scrolls game. I've loved Elder Scrolls the series since Arena.
And guess what? They're using the same fucking engine.
They use the same fucking engine for Elder Scrolls 6 as they use for Oblivion.
You think so?
Yeah. They are. They already announced it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have not changed... Todd Howard's an asshole. They have not changed the engine for the new game. It's still running in the same engine Oblivion ran out on the PS3.
It's still the same janky, busted-ass engine that was running Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout 4.
Like, it's the same jank engine. Stop it. We've gone so far past that.
Look, Todd, you've got your money's worth out of it. Get a new fucking engine.
I'm going to butcher his last name. What's his last name? Todd.
It's just Todd Howard.
Todd Howard. Yeah, I really like that guy.
Skyrim ATM edition.
It just works, man. It just works.
Like I said, I think I saw Fallout 4 or what, E3.
Yeah.
Like, first time I haven't played any of them. And, like, he was on stage just talking. I'm like...
God, they mic dropped the fuck out of Fallout 4, though.
They did.
They did. It was great.
But it was worth it. At the time, it was worth it.
Fallout 4 was great, okay?
Yeah. I've got a lot of hours in Fallout 4.
But,
Not
like,
a
just the
lot,
fact that he He needs beer.
He needs zombie dust.
So pretty much, well, it was like when he started talking, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check this game out just because you're talking right now.
Yeah, he's very good at it, and the fact that they have managed to port, remaster, and shove that Skyrim onto every imaginable console.
And those you can't imagine.
And those you can't imagine.
Literally play it on the Alexa. You can literally do that.
Yeah, I know.
It's on
Like, it's not a meme. You can do that.
everything.
Yeah. I actually like that meme of setting up your Alexa to play like the Skyrim like theme.
Skyrim theme, yeah.
Yeah, I have my Alexa set up to do.
Intruder breaks into your home. Set Skyrim battle music to volume 10. It's such a pain. Like, I always make the joke whenever like something new comes out or some new piece of software or hardware comes out, and it's like it's the new Skyrim. You'll buy it because it's out edition. Like
It's true.
you'll buy it because it exists edition.
So
like
silly.
they will like and he actually went on record like he's not anywhere near done talking about this thing because he came out one time talking about all the remasters. Somebody questioned like, why do you put it on everything? Like it's on the Switch now. You've got like versions to put it on all the stuff. Why'd you remaster it? He goes, because people keep buying it.
Yeah, for real.
So if you want Elder Scrolls 6, stop buying Skyrim.
Yeah,
Dude, I love it because someone mentioned that. They're like, why do they like keep putting out Skyrim? I'm like, as he said, if y'all will stop buying this, they will put out the new one.
Yep.
Why do you think you don't have GTA 6? Why do you think that's constantly a rumor? Because y'all keep buying stuff for GTA 5.
Did you see?
GTA 5 is the GOAT.
Do you think GTA 5 will be on the PlayStation 5?
Yes.
They're going to remaster it with like the premium XL condom 408 edition.
And you know what? I'm fine with that. That is the greatest selling game of all time.
It is the best-selling media of all time.
Yep.
It beats out Marvel.
It is
It beats
also
out Star Wars.
Everything.
That's not me being like,
Well, no.
I love it. Like it's fact. Like it's pure fact.
It's straight fact, and I am nothing but a fan.
I could argue against that actually.
Could you?
Yeah, Smash. Like.
No,
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 No.
GTA.
No,
G-
are you talking about selling?
sales,
It has made the most money of any media property ever. Period. You can't.
Well, I'm thinking because Smash was up for Game of the Year and also won Best.
I'm
I'm not saying
No,
that
no.
GTA
Yeah,
is
not
the best
like-
game of all time.
Not like the best
It just-
game ever.
It just has made a lot of fucking money.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Billions.
Like, I can agree with that, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
like as in like media was like what it represents. But
Well,
then again,
what-
a lot of people love GTA.
Yeah,
which is,
what it represents is there.
It's
but
those
like,
dollar bills.
but if we're talking like
Dollar,
the
dollar,
best-selling
dollar,
media
y'all.
of all time is Grand Theft Auto 5.
It is.
Hands down. Is
Yeah.
it like the most
I
influential
hear it
game
like
ever?
once a month at GameStop.
No, but it's the best-selling.
Yeah, is it the best game ever? No. Is it the most influential game ever? No.
Yes,
Is it the best
no.
selling? Has it made the
No.
most money of anything ever? Yes.
Yes.
no, I would argue that it is one of the most influential games ever, and I've never played it.
I mean, yeah, it is
I'll
an
be honest,
influential game though.
If I have like 20 minutes and I have nothing to do, I will jump in GTA.
Yeah, no, like as we're gonna talk, I can give you a quick review about that right now. So influential, the way you can go between three people, the way you can do whatever you want in the game, the satire, even just from GTA 4, the American dream was in there, becoming what you want, pretty much Scarface level, like people love that kind of stuff. And like I haven't even played the game, and I can tell you exactly what that is, and go like, yeah. So and I'm like I can't play it because it's just like a me thing, like just what ruined that game for me was growing up and like my cousins just running around just shooting people the entire time. I'm like, well, let's just see the story. No, I just want to get cheat codes in and fly around. I'm like, well, I don't want, like, it just kind of put the off-putting for that age set at like 11 or 12. Like, I was playing games at like Final Fantasy 7 and stuff like that at the time. It's like, there's got to be more to this game than that. And then like when I grew up and saw that there was more, I'm like, okay, I appreciate it.
That's basically it. Like, the ability to do anything you want in that game is what makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone can play that game differently. You know, you can, because there's runs that you can watch on YouTube of people doing where those like Good Samaritan runs, where like even in the game you stop at traffic lights.
Oh yeah.
So there's a way to play through every Grand Theft Auto game without killing anybody. Like, I think GTA 5, like, you're required, like, twice, I think. But, like, other than that, like, other than the stuff that's, like, it mandates you to kill somebody, you can play that game entirely as a pacifist and not kill a single person.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that, though?
That's it. It's the exact thing of, like, what you're looking for in a game. Because, like, you can do that. But the fact that they let you go to, like, they let you go to the movies.
And you watch a robot get a hand job.
Yeah, robot hand job. But you can actually watch a movie. Like, you can actually go do stuff in the game. And they put so much thought into all the extra content. Like, you can go play golf. I've done it. Only because it's a great way in GTA Online to level your strength stat. But, like, you can go play golf. And it's not a bad golf game.
It's not bad at all. Like,
I don't know. I just like getting hookers and then having sex with them and then running them over with my car and robbing them.
What do
And
you
then
do
trying
for
to
a
find
living?
another one to do.
Dead fair, I guess.
You
I
I'm
get lots of
instantly more
money that
terrified
way.
of Genie.
Are you like living a double life we don't know about?
Genie's the most innocent and interesting person in the world.
Yeah.
Like the amount she's like, I love everybody, and then watch her play anything. She's like, die, motherfucker! Like,
It was me with Man of the Dawn with what was his name?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sam, the guy, Sam Ashworth's character. Because he threw money at the pirates or whatever.
Yeah, it's
he was just like
the douchebag. Like I know what you're talking about.
he even
Connor,
Connor,
God.
He salt paid money at them. He was just like, fuck.
He's like,
Look, you want money? Fuck.
You screwed up my boat. He's like, oh, is $20 recovered? No. Well, here's $100, and he just started throwing 20s, and I'm like, okay, even now I want you to die.
Well, we did technically get him killed because I stabbed him.
Okay.
I also stabbed the nerd dude. That was
No, in our playthrough, I fucked up and kept running from the enemy, and then he ended up like swan diving to the. Because and this is some bullshit. All right, Madam Dan, fix your prompts. All right, because when the game says jump, it means jump. But when Madam Dan says stand your ground or jump, the jump meant fall backwards to my face onto like a metal deck and die. Okay, it wasn't jump, it was trip and face plant to death.
Well, like, to be fair, you still jumped.
To be fair,
you still jumped. You just didn't stick your landing.
Yeah, because you can't roll out of a landing where it's like 85% your neck.
Well, like in Until Dawn, when you do the tower, if you jump off his mat, you get hooked in the face.
And no, if you don't jump off his mat, you get hooked in the face because you spend more time trying to save that bitch. If you jump off immediately and just go bye bitch and just leave, you're fine.
So is there a goose down there? No.
Huh? What? No. I didn't.
Oh!
So
Can we talk about Goose? Can we talk about Untitled Goose Game?
So is there a goose in there? No, I guess not. Okay. So pretty much, Untitled Goose Game won Dice Game of Year awards.
Love it. As it should be.
I love the Untitled
all
Goose
things
Game.
in balance as it should be.
By the way, I downloaded the Goose desktop thing.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great and as annoying as you would possibly imagine.
So for a game that's only 3 hours long, why did it deserve to win Game of the Year?
Rake in the lake.
Rake in the lake.
Because
the fact that you
doesn't have
can
to be
do
long to be
everything.
good.
It's a cultural movement, not a game. Like, the fact that you can do anything you want in that game and just piss off anybody is my favorite part. Like, locking that kid in the phone booth is the funniest shit I've ever done in my life.
Because it's about quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Honk.
Honk.
Honk. Quality honks.
Shout out to one of my good friends, Raging Fat Goose. And, like, you can follow her on Twitch. And, like, her name, like, she does, like, honk and gaggle. The gaggle.
The gaggle.
So, I am going to look at what won, just so, how you guys feel. Game of the Year, Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah!
Outstanding Achievement in Audio Design, Death Stranding. How do you feel about that? When does that...
That game does have phenomenal atmosphere.
It has a great soundtrack. I like Low Roar now. I'm like, I need to actually listen to you guys more.
Dude, like, so many of my friends didn't know who Khalid was before Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And now they're like, dude, the
Khaled?
songs he put in that game was great.
Right?
I'm just like,
Was it
you should
Khaled?
listen to all of it.
DJ Khaled. is-
Khaled or
Khalid.
I don't know who it is.
I thought you said Khaled.
That's what I said. That's what I thought it was. I know DJ Khaled.
No!
We the best.
We the best music!
I got my own opinion on that dude.
Okay.
I think we all have an opinion on DJ.
Outstanding achievement in audio design. That's wait. I
Oh, we
said
just did that
Yeah,
one.
that's
Okay.
right.
Action game of the year. Control.
Hell
Yes!
Yes.
Control is so good. I'm so mad that so many people slept on it.
Stone didn't.
Yeah, I played the fuck out of that game.
It is on sale right now.
I'm one achievement off from getting a platinum in that game. As soon as I get it back from Zach, I'm gonna platinum it.
Of course it's with Zach. Fucking Zach.
Does Zach have that?
Yeah, I let him borrow it.
Zach has a game of mine for the PS4 and I don't know what it is.
I got them back. They're over there.
What is it? Well, what was it rather?
Well, it is Final Fantasy 14 Online in your Evil Within sleeve,
That's it.
and Horizon Zero Dawn, I think.
Why
okay.
is it in the evil with... I don't like...
Where's my Evil Within copy? Shit.
Well, also another game that pretty much restarted back up was Final Fantasy 14. So like, go off that Anthem like resurgence kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing. So that if they can do something like that, that'd be good.
I love
Realm
14.
Reborn.
A Realm Reborn. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love 14.
I see it. I'm just like I don't have time for it.
No, ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't
I'll be
nobody got
honest,
time for that. It's fine.
It's I don't play that game well because the amount of time that I spend in my actual combat class is like less than 10%. The amount of time that I spend actually in combat in that game is less than 10%.
Is it?
Because the ability to put every crafting class on one character, to me, was a mistake.
Oh god.
Because my ass is crafting or gathering all the time.
Okay. Is someone that can be on the podcast?
Oh, no, it's a text message. Sorry.
Oh, you're saying
That's your
like.
text tone?
A long text tone.
It's a long text tone.
It's my best friend. We have wrestling themes.
But yeah,
after each
Control,
That's
hell of
right.
a game.
Adventure game of the year: Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
other. Yes.
That's alright.
I loved it. I think it like it says more Sekiro than Dark Souls, but no. Ooh.
More people play Dark Souls. I have to.
Fighting game of the year: Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Were there any other fighting
Probably
games
the,
that came out
that's
last
probably
year?
the only fighting game that came out.
I mean, it's not bad or
Smash.
anything, but it's like, I think it just kind of wins by default, doesn't it?
Smash. I'm like, I will. Like,
Yeah.
I guess Smash is Smash is a
Smash
fighting
falls
game.
under the category of last year. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but y'all know how I feel about Smash.
Oh yeah, yeah. Smash is a great game.
This is my game of the year overall. Just
Yeah, no, Smash is a great game.
But what's cool about the Entitled Goose Game, we'll get back to it. It's an immersive reality game of the year. Pistol Whip.
I didn't even heard of that.
Me either. Immersive reality technical achievement. Blood and Truth.
That game is great.
It's a VR.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
great.
I wish I had a VR.
I'll bring
I
mine
bet you
over.
did. No.
Nope.
I'll bring my VR over.
Online game of the year. Apex Legends.
Genie. That could be a stream.
What, Apex Legends?
No. Just setting up the VR.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many steps to take up the VR, but Apex Legends is so good, and I'm so mad that Fortnite overdoes it.
Dude, the amount
'Cause
that I've
remember when
watched
it came
and played
out?
Apex, it's great.
I love Apex.
There's one reason in particular that I do not stream that game. I'm fucking terrible at it.
Me too.
It's
Mm.
I'm
so
awful
much
at
fun, but I'm terrible at it.
Is that like I play Fortnite with my friends in the UK because they just don't like Apex because they're a bunch of lames. So
Outstanding achievement in story. Disco Elysium.
You
I've heard a
play
lot of
that?
good things about that
I
game.
want to play. It's coming out for console relatively soon, actually.
You know, like you said, what'd you say?
After the podcast, remind me to download that.
Okay.
Maybe set a reminder in your phone.
We-
Just have it go off every hour. But Disco Elysium.
Yeah, well, I just keep forgetting.
Have you
Yeah,
played it?
I've heard really good things about it. I haven't played it, but it seems like a really cool game.
You guys are into D&D. I love that role playing stuff. I think you would love that.
Yeah.
To be like
Man, we should.
It's like nothing
weird
trick.
flex like normal with this kind of podcast. We always have a problem with Audacity here and there. You know how it is, guys. You were saying something about getting Sean on here.
Yes. I
Well-
think we need to get my boss on here. I don't care if we have to go to Sean's house.
Well, I've been trying to get Sean on for like the last 3 years. So
You know what we could do?
what's up?
We could live stream a D&D game.
Well, let's talk about that off air.
Yeah.
Oh, are we back on?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Audacity was still doing its thing.
No. We'll talk about that after we
What
got
cracked on you?
Or hip.
But like, so Disco Elysium is something I think y'all would both enjoy.
Yeah,
Just like
that's great.
the only reason why I haven't bought it yet is because, like I said, Ori is going to be the first PC game I buy. So
I mean, that's fair.
yeah,
That's fair.
I've been watching the trailer here and there all the time. It's like, oh gosh, but I guess it goes to show how weird last year was for gaming, because it's like everyone had their own, like, this is the game of the year, or like, this is the game of the year. No, like, this was the game of the year. Because we could probably go around the room and go like, what was your game of the year? What was your game of the year? Sekiro,
Okay.
Death Stranding, Resident Evil.
Dude, wow. Was Persona last year?
Persona 5 is 2017.
Damn it, I'm so old. I'm so out of date. Most of my stuff is indie titles. So like, what came out last year? Oh, Neo. No, Neo.
No, Neo's 2017 too.
Damn it. Shit, I got nothing. Pass.
Get with the decade.
Pass.
Get with the decade.
Come back to me. I'm gonna Google some stuff.
Okay. Jen, your game of the year was what?
Ooh.
Control was on there too.
Yeah.
And Smash.
Control's really good.
Control.
Control.
Control was so good.
Yeah, I think you did come on here and say that Control was yours.
Yeah, Control was my game of the year.
Luke, what was yours?
I'd say
I got
it's
mine.
definitely not Borderlands 3, although I love Borderlands. Borderlands 3 is just not as good as Borderlands 2. Sorry. I loved my time in Death Stranding. I still actually need to finish that right at the end.
Okay.
But I gotta say Death Stranding, I think.
Okay, so Jason, you?
After a quick Google search of games of 2019,
It's Anthem. It's totally Anthem.
it's not Anthem.
I don't want to hear
Anthem gets a Razzie Award. No.
Right?
Best game that I played last year that was actually a 2019 title is probably The Outer Worlds.
Ooh, yeah, Outer Worlds on there too.
Yeah.
I played
Yeah.
the hell out of The Outer Worlds, and for some reason my brain didn't connect 2019 to it.
I love, because I think he talked about how, like, he played the game like an asshole, and he had to go up to a building and they just started shooting at him.
Not a
he had to
building,
shoot
an
him like
entire map.
Yeah.
You pissed off an entire universe.
Oh yeah, that entire universe wanted to kill me. I could not go near any civilization except for like the first one there. I didn't play like a dick. Like everybody else was just like, all right, you annoy me. You need to die now.
I was like a moderate kind of dick. So basically, I was like Rami Malek in Until Dawn, but
The moderate dick. Okay, where's Until Dawn kind of at? We
And
gotta be.
so, I don't have one yet,
It's
but
like
we'll get that
18, I
going.
think.
that means I have 3 counters at this
The
point.
pickle counter, chainsaw counter, and Until Dawn counter. One of those is drastically higher because I'm involved in one of those counters.
Well, just when I mention it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, probably my game of the year for 2020 is probably gonna be fucking Satisfactory whenever it actually fully releases.
You
because
think so?
It's so
What
good.
about
I fucking love that
Outriders?
game.
My
Outriders will probably be fine.
my I don't know. I wouldn't say Satisfactory would be like my game of the year 2020.
Well, when we talk about like when we get to that midway point of like what is game of the year to you right now, we'll do that on this podcast because that's just fair.
Oh, well,
Because so
my game won't be out by then, so
What game?
it's fine.
again,
Cyberpunk won't be out by
Well,
the time
that
we
is-
get to the halfway point
But,
of
that
the
is
year.
that is
well,
the
Last
halfway
of Us will
point.
be out.
Huh?
Last of Us
Last-
Part 2.
It's true.
That would be the halfway point.
Oh yeah, I forgot quarters fall differently in
Yeah.
the game
Dying Light
universe.
2 won't be.
It's indefinite. You never know when it's gonna come out. So, but
But they
like,
canceled my game.
I guess for me, it's gonna be like I can't go off it because that's just the nostalgia thing. I want Final Fantasy VII to win it, but I know for some odd reason it won't. Even if it's a 10 out of 10 everywhere, I'm just like, it's not gonna win it still.
It's,
Nope.
yeah.
Because regardless of how you want to describe it, it's a remastered title. It already exists.
Well,
Yeah.
the same thing with Resident Evil 2,
even
though.
but I don't think that should win Game of the Year either because it's
No,
a
'cause
phenomenal game. Don't get me wrong; it's a great reimagining of the title, but it's a game that's already happened.
Yeah.
So, like, just by that token, it should be disqualified.
But the thing is, though, people that have never played it get to play it
Yeah.
Like
You're
whenever.
right, so-
No, I agree, but I always kind of take like game of the year or like you know like most influential game or anything that's like that big title, like that big push for it. I always want it to be a new property because I feel like if we start going back to like Final Fantasy VII, Resident Evil 2, I feel like that's a big step back because like now because because nostalgia is a big factor because you said like take nostalgia out. But nostalgia is a huge factor in gaming.
Yeah.
Because I'll buy every remaster of a game that I've enjoyed.
Yeah, we
I'll
know.
love Final Fantasy X. I've owned it 5 times. But like, you know, I don't believe that the games like that deserve Game of the Year. Because I really want to push that towards more new titles.
Yeah. So like Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Gosh. I want to play that.
Cyberpunk's gonna be like a game and a half, though.
Dude.
No, not the game. I'm talking about the actual like tabletop game.
Oh, the tabletop,
yeah? I've heard it's good. I've heard it's really complex though.
I can see it. Like, it's just interesting, like how gaming is the biggest medium now, or let's say like it is becoming the biggest medium now because like
games
doing
industry
that.
is much
Yes.
bigger than like the movie industry now.
Yeah. Just seeing Norman Reedus or doing stuff, or like the fact that Troy Baker, like he can put his voice into dreams and things like that. I'm just like, why is it that way? And I love it. It's not like it's just like a question that is there. And I can see like people are like, oh, you're just a nerd or whatnot, but like, dude, like this is ruining the world right now. Like, you know, like
My opinion on that, it has transcended the bounds that it used to hold. Because when I was a kid, because I'm 30, so when I was a kid, it was still, you were considered a nerd, you know, you're ridiculed and mocked for playing video games. Now, you got the guys that used to make fun of people playing video games, play Call of Duty.
yeah.
They play video games. Like, so it's transcended what it used to be. Because it used to be, you know, only nerds play games. Now everybody does.
Yeah.
It's become just part of the culture.
Yeah, it's like I like how we were able to adapt to said culture. So, I guess that brings up the next topic: is Tim Sweeney saying that politics should stay out of games. How do you feel about that?
I don't think
statement?
politics need to be in anything because it just brings unnecessary conflict to everything, and I hate it.
I disagree.
Okay, state your case, King.
It's because once you start stifling a topic, whether it be like take when we were talking about the crucifixion
Yeah.
in Tomb Raider, you know that could be viewed as you know religiously insensitive in certain circles to a certain person. The second you try to restrict anything, whether it be a political view, a religious view, an ideological view, you really ruin an avenue of creativity.
Yeah,
So to me, it follows the same lines as like comedy and movies. Like once you restrict access to a certain topic, you restrict anything past that. Like where does it end? Because you're like, well, politics doesn't belong in gaming. Okay, well, who defines what politics means?
yeah,
And then you get into a big culture war over what should and shouldn't be in gaming, and then it takes away from anything that could be created.
I think what you're like. I think we're on the same side of it because it's like it pushed me in a way. I'm like, wow, wasn't expecting that to be in there. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, this is just religious artifacts, some type of artifacts that are going on in the game. So it's like, okay, that's fine. Like I get it.
Yeah.
Like
Like
that.
I can disagree with a topic in a video game and still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Like that to me that's such a different avenue of like I don't want censorship in basically anything.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean that's why there's mature games for mature audiences, and
yeah.
that people should appreciate that.
Like there's I think it was Postal got like all the flack, and like if you look at like it was banned in I think Australia, I think it was banned in the UK, it was like restricted in a lot of European countries because they took out a lot of the violent imagery and all that stuff like that. But you know, you look at a game like that now, it's nothing. You know, you get more gore than that in you know a God of War game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's the politics of the time shouldn't dictate creativity.
It's like this. This is how I think about it. Like, saying that politics shouldn't be in anything is just like I don't know. It's small-minded in my opinion, or it shouldn't be in like games or anything. Like, because your political opinions, your views, your your worldview is based off of your experiences, your personality. That shapes you. It's part of you. It's who you are. So to say, like, you as a person, whenever you're interacting with anything, whenever you touch something, you bring yourself to it to some degree, and you irrevocably change that thing. So, to say that developers shouldn't bring political views to games is like saying that they shouldn't bring their personality to their games.
Yeah.
Which is just a bad thing in my opinion. Like, that's why you want, like, creative people working on games. You want them to bring themselves to that game and wholly invest themselves in it to make this amazing piece of, media or art or, whatever you want to call it, this experience,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you limit yourself or others in that way, then you're doing a disservice to yourself, to those people that are involved with the project, to the people that are fans of the project. So I don't agree with that at all.
So it's like we talk about it so much, and I'm sorry for you listeners, but it's just gonna have to happen. It's like when Cory Barlog makes God of War the way it is. It's like he said, this is like a love letter. This is what I wanted to make. It's like everything that it's like. If we think of God of War, it's just like owning your past and like becoming something new, and then telling a fresh story. Politically speaking, that or like on an influential basis, that is great. It's like I understand where I come from, but I can be better.
Yeah, great.
And it's like we talked about it last week. I don't know if it does have a lot of politics because I haven't played the game for so long. Nier Automata. So
I would. Nier is more philosophical than political.
Yeah, but it's still in that same vein, I guess.
Yeah.
It
Beliefs and worldviews.
It can be very, very easy to misconstrue a lot that's in there.
Yes.
Yeah, I could do a whole podcast about Nier. So I will belay my time to somebody else because I will not shut up.
If you haven't played Nier, you should play Nier. If you haven't played God of War, you should play God of War. If you can.
If you haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, play it.
If you can.
Or Until Dawn, or Tomb Raider.
I looked at Jeannie waiting for it.
I heard that last one, so she got to 11 now.
5. All 5 of those. You have to play Until Dawn. You have to play Man of Medan, Median.
They're definitely not median.
Man of Median. You gotta play Lollipop Chainsaw, and you gotta play Tomb Raider, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You just have to.
And doing all that, eat a pickle.
And eat a pickle.
Good gosh, and make sure it's not super strong.
Yeah, you gotta have like the Rico's pickle, like the Rico's dill pickle is bad.
What's that gas station pickle that you were just like, it's bad. It's all spice.
Oh, that's the weird Tampico pickle. It comes in like a white bag. Has like, it was fucking gross. It was disgusting.
Did anyone wonder why I just laughed my ass off? Stone dropped his phone and then reached for it really pathetically. It was kind of funny. he was real sad and then couldn't grab his phone.
Okay, so what do you guys think of? I didn't put it on the topics, but did you guys see where PlayStation is now having an AI patent for the PlayStation 5? Like where if you need help with something, like you can like pretty much get help with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Neat.
That's awesome.
But you might have to pay for it.
I mean, you gotta pay for content. Like, as far as like new features like that are concerned, and then that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I'm also I also subscribe to a lot of theories of transhumanism. Like, I fear no future. to do all the tech. I don't care.
Yeah.
I have no fear of AI. Make it everything. I don't give a shit.
I think we were talking about like content like where you can have it. I think the prime example is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, because like there's so much to do in that game that like the fact that you could like buy like where the markers are, it was like I feel comfortable doing that because it's like I don't have that much time to just like explore and
explore.
But that game kind of holds something dear to me over Red Dead Redemption. I think I've said it too many times on this podcast. Is that when Red Dead came out, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was there still. I was like, I'm not even moving to Red Dead until I beat Odyssey.
Not only beat it, but you said
Platinum.
Yeah, I was
that
like,
thing.
I can't just beat it. That's not enough.
Like I said, like I don't ever do that with a lot of games. It's just like the first game that I actually did that was what Horizon Zero Dawn.
Such a great game.
I did that on accident because I loved playing that game so much. Like I didn't even mean to. I just got it.
Like
No,
Platinum
you
while
beat
you
the
beat it.
Platinum
Yeah,
when
I got the
did.
platinum when I beat the game because I just went and did everything. I wanted to, like, I was so hungry for everything in that game. Like, I wanted to know more about that world. So I went and explored every nook and cranny and did everything I could possibly do. And I beat the game and got the platinum. I'm like, motherfucker, what?
You just see that platinum thing pop up in the corner.
You leaving us?
Yeah, I got to go.
Number 2's leaving. So
I do.
gotta get out.
I gotta.
Recommendations this week. You know.
Let's see. If we're going current gen, I don't know. I've been
This is the
playing
current
Sims
gen.
4, so I want to suggest
You've already
Sims
said
4.
that already.
Oh, I know. I also said Horizon Zero Dawn like 4 times, so. Let's see.
Oh, Jen.
Detroit Become Human.
Okay. Yes.
So good. Quantum Dreams is such a great company.
That was actually one of the topics, so I put that on there for you.
Last gen. Oh God.
Might as well just say Heavy Rain at this point.
No, because I didn't particularly like Heavy Rain. I hate the fact that I didn't like it.
Beyond Two Souls.
Press X to Jason. That meme got sent to me about 400 times.
Yeah.
Gosh. Super Mario Bros. 3
Good
because
gosh.
it celebrated its birthday.
That's an
Yeah.
influential game for real.
Super.
If it wasn't for that, we probably still wouldn't have Mario.
Super good.
Yoshi's World.
Because I already suggested Super Mario RPG, so.
Paper Mario.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Tell Sean to hit me up.
I'm on it.
Oh, what's up?
I think I remember hearing something about a new Mario Party in the works.
Do you not have Mario Party for the Switch already?
Nope.
No, we need 1-2 Switch. We
He's
have
a
to play
lame-
drunk 1-2 Switch.
Wow.
Said he's a lame Switch owner.
Hey, my Switch games include Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Sword, and Final Fantasy XII. At this
Okay.
point, I think I'm set.
You can put Ori on there.
Bye, Jenny.
But you can just play that for free anyways on your Game Pass.
Yeah, I can. $1 for 3 months. Xbox, hit me up.
How does that work again? The Xbox
Game Pass?
Yeah.
You just all it is a subscription service that you use to download the properties to play.
Okay.
It's just that simple. It's pretty great.
What's the price point? Not an ad.
Well, right now it's it's in kind of in beta, so it's $1 for 3 months. But
Okay.
when it launches, I think it's like a $5, like $4.99 every month. Like it's really cheap to play like 110 titles.
So pretty much when I get the playing Ori on the PC, is it better? I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I'm probably going to get it for the Switch when it launches for the Switch when
Well,
it
yeah,
ever
yeah.
does. So if it comes out Ultimate Game Pass, right?
Yep.
I can play it day one.
Yep.
If I have it.
As far as I'm aware, you can play it day one. I don't think that there's any kind of delay in the Game Pass.
Okay. I've definitely.
I could be wrong. Someone can inform me of that.
Well, in whenever Anthem released, you know, right whenever Game Pass was just launching and stuff, and they had like an early access thing for that, right?
Yeah, they do.
Is Anthem on the Game Pass?
What, Anthem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I never saw it.
Oh, seeing how you do have it.
Or no, maybe was it on EA Access actually?
It's in EA Access.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
not-
it was.
it's not in the Game Pass. That's what it screwed me up. Like, I don't think it is. I know it was in the EA Access.
I do believe they have gone out and said that there would be day one access to games on Game Pass though. If it were to go on Game Pass, it would be day one access.
Yeah, I think y'all should check out Ori.
Yeah.
You've been trying to get me to play that.
Ori, yeah.
That and Disco Elysium for like 3 weeks.
Mm.
Honestly, and it's gonna be like right now. Also, you know, just say shout out stream Ready Set QQ.
Yeah.
Look it up. Like right now, my Monday and Wednesday Twitch is Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
Not because it's super popular, more because of the fact that I just enjoy the game.
Yeah.
But once I finish that, then I will be looking for new titles for those days of the week.
Whoa,
So I will probably I will play Ori. I guarantee it. I'll play Ori and I'll play Ori 2. I think that comes out
March 11th.
March 11th. So that comes out next month.
So speaking of release dates, did you check out or can you download the Neo 2 demo yet? Or I know you're a Neo fan, so
I'm a big Neo fan. It's the end of February. It opens for I think it's like 14 hours, but the final demo that you can play on the PS4 will also transfer all that character data to your new game.
I saw it. I was like, let me hit Jason up.
You sent me that message, and I instantly went into hermit mode. Grabbed the internet, and went nuts. But I was like, yo, what? And I was like, so yeah, I found all that out. But yeah, you're able to play the game early. You can't, and then transfer all your character data over. You can't get through story content. It'll reset your story content, but you can transfer your character. So you're able to kind of play it early, and then kind of have to go back to the start. But like Neo is far and away one of my favorite games.
Well, so have you played Bloodborne?
Oh yeah.
Are you a big Bloodborne?
I've played every From Software game. There's not a one I haven't played. Like I started with Demon Souls, and I've gone forward from there.
I really want to play Dark Souls 3 again. I gotta beat it.
Yeah.
That's my
honestly,
one.
my order is like from top down is. I mean, it's a toss up between Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 for me, and then 3, and then Dark Souls 2. You add in Scholar the First Sin, which fixed a lot of the issues in Dark Souls 2. Then it's pretty well towards the top because it's just a fun gameplay.
What about you? Are you a From Software fan or?
No, I've never really been great at like rhythm games and stuff, and that's kind of what Dark Souls is. It's a rhythm game disguised as an action adventure game.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's like I tried playing Bloodborne because I got it for free, PlayStation Plus, a little while back, and like I can get into the combat and stuff, and like go kill the enemies, and I understand like the mechanics of things. But it's like you start to get to the boss fight, and it just turns everything on its head, and I never could get past the first boss.
You rage quit. Don't think it any other way than Stone rage quit.
I rage quit. I fucking tried. I played that fucking boss for
Stone,
6 hours.
Die your way to victory.
I tried. I couldn't get it. I'm sorry. It's just I couldn't get into it.
Rage quit.
Well, I think I got to the first boss. So it was like, this game feels really hard. Mm-hmm. And then I went to play Dark Souls 3. I was like, oh yeah, I'm having more fun on here than I am on Bloodborne.
Dark Souls is definitely better than Bloodborne. I think. Yeah. I was trying to defend Bloodborne for anything, but like no, it's not that the game is bad. It's just not as good as a Souls game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that just never really clicked for me, and I never got into it. I guess so.
I love things that make me feel frustrated, and that's the entirety of a Dark Souls game. The reward you get from finally, like I said, die your way to victory. Learn what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. The reward that you get for doing that, personally, is just immense to me. It's a great thing to figure out. Like, I solved this giant puzzle of a game of oh, if I dodge at this particular time, I can get 2 shots in before he resets and is able to hit me again. Like just playing through a Souls game is an experience. You can make it, like, there's speed runs of Souls games, you can beat them in like 32 minutes.
I know.
But why?
I've seen some, like, I think, except my friend Jacob, he said he saw a Twitch stream, like, or someone said, like, yeah, I can beat the game in about an hour and 15 minutes. I think I'll die about 4 times, and I know why I'll die. That dude literally died 4 times during that complete finish, and he was just like, I guess I don't play games right. When you look at that stuff, you're just like, well, did I do something wrong?
It's just it's the enjoyment that you get out of it. Like I would much rather go back to myself 10 years ago playing a Souls game than now, because I know everything now about Souls, and Neo's the same way. Like when I first played Neo, there's the Oni boss on the ship. How many times did you watch me die to him? A lot. I probably spent 4 hours trying to grind that dude until I finally managed to beat him. Now going back to it, I can get through that fight without getting hit.
Mhm.
And like it's that original feeling of playing the game and getting so frustrated but finally managing to do it. It's such a cool sense of accomplishment inside of that game that you just can't recapture.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
And like, cause I despise games that are too easy, like Kingdom Hearts on proud mode or Kingdom Hearts 3 on proud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's too easy. Like it's nothing to it. So like it's just the point of like if that's where gaming is going, I'm very sad. But then you see games like Neo 2 coming out.
Yeah.
And if they haven't fucked with it, I'm gonna devour that game.
Well, you can play Kingdom Hearts Level 1 Critical Mode.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think you should have those self-imposed challenges if you don't need them.
Yeah.
Like it's actually really funny. My Final Fantasy stream on Wednesday, I tried for something that's a bit of a challenge. There's a fight against one of the guys called Seymour, like
Yeah.
20 hours or maybe 12 hours into the game.
Is it the first encounter?
The first encounter in Makalania Temple.
Would you not try to summon Shiva or something?
Yup.
God.
I tried doing it without a summon and I got my shit wrecked.
Oh.
I made it through the anima fight and then like the multi-casting spells just killed me in phase 3. And I was like, I'm gonna try to get through this without having to do it. And I was like, I think I can get it because I had Yuna all the way through to because the expert sphere grid is different than the standard one. So I had Yuna all the way through to the 3rd tier black magic like Firaga, Thanaga. So I had her in that tier and I was like, if there was a time to do it, right now. Got my shit pushed in. Like I got I was like I'm throwing Phoenix down, trying to revive people, and he's dead. It's like son of a bitch. So, but then I was like, all right. So it's really funny if you get back and watch the stream of just me just getting frustrated watching my characters die.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I just said meh, and then just summoned Shiva and won.
Yeah, like,
Son of a
seriously,
bitch.
So you pretty much you got through it. Then you're like, oh, yep. If I'm correct me or wrong, because we did talk about politics here for a little bit. When I think about Final Fantasy X, after 10 years passed and like being somewhat educated, why does that feel just like a Christian journey, pilgrimage?
I mean, the pilgrimage is the thing, but I would.
I guess with the name like sin as like your.
I would say it's more of a breakaway.
More like a Japanese thing.
Yeah, it's more of a breakaway from religion though. Is kind of my take on it. Is the story of Final Fantasy X to me is unshackling yourself from the religious annotation, but also then taking responsibility for your actions and your thoughts.
Yeah.
So to me it's more of like it starts as a religious pilgrimage, and then it devolves to the point where it's like you don't need religion to justify your actions. You need to have some sort of semblance of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the game. But still, just like, I think it was like a one thing I thought, like, man, there's religion in this. It was funny. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely a religious aspect to it, but to me, it's more breaking of, like, you don't need the religious tenets to be a good person or to do the right thing.
Yeah. So, I guess when we talk about story, which of the Final Fantasy games had the best story?
Oh. 6.
6? Yeah.
6 to me had the most just off the wall crazy story that was just so in depth between characters so much, and it's unfortunate because of the way that it looks, because it's it was made in old style graphics. It's just not it doesn't look good. So like anyone that didn't grow up playing those games, like it's like trying to have somebody now go back and play an old school Zelda game.
Good gosh.
It just won't happen.
I
Like
think
pre-Ocarina Zelda games, like Link's Awakening and back before the remaster.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting someone to go back and play those games is so hard to do now because people just don't want to play that style of game. But like Final Fantasy VI was an amazing story for the time, and all of the writing was phenomenal.
Super Nintendo, right? Correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Yeah, I remember Sabin. Or is it Sabin? Is it Sabin?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
It was Sabin.
I say Sabin, but there was no audio back then, so like
Who knows?
it's however you want to pronounce it. Like Titus or Titus. One of them is right.
Well,
It's
Titus.
It's Titus. Don't say Titus. I'll hate you. But But like, yeah, Final Fantasy 6 to me had probably the best story. If we're talking like current gen, like PS2 forward, where you had all the, or PS1 forward, with like the disc set, it's a bit more of a toss up to me.
No, oh gosh, we won't even get that until we get to the Final Fantasy talk. But yeah, no, I'm not. I was reserving that for the Final Fantasy talk.
Oh, come on, you can't ask me and then not answer the question.
Okay, so
I think the best,
how about a spoiler?
a spoiler.
Like, say it and then we'll talk about it again.
It's not 7.
All right.
So
Then we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah.
I already intend to catch flack. I'm just not saying 7.
I said like, no, I love 7, but I guess I can ask you guys this question because you guys are both. You played 7?
Yeah, I played 7.
Okay. Who? It's not a spoiler because the game's been out for 23 plus years. But if you're waiting to play the new one, you might want to exit out here. You want to ask this question. Who do you guys? I had this conversation with my dad because I'll tell my dad about video games. If it was for him, I want to be playing games. I think. In your mind, who's the main character of 7?
Sephiroth.
The main character?
Yep.
Or you just like that?
Nope. If you get a lot deeper into the lore of Final Fantasy VII, to me, he becomes the main character. Like, just the struggle to the life stream, like everything that happens around him. Like, I don't view Sephiroth as a giant waste of an evil character. He's not just bad, but like everything that went along with that guy on the live stream, like he's more of a victim than the game leads on, just from from like watching it from Cloud's perspective.
Well, see,
Yeah, I kind of feel like Cloud was just along for the ride for most of the game.
Sephiroth is to me the main character.
Well, to me, like you said, Sephiroth was interesting, and I love Sephiroth.
Yeah,
and just think it's amazing.
Shout out to the One Winged Angel track.
No, let's hold on. Let's not get on that subject just yet, please. Because I'll talk about it here because I got so much about that. When I think of the main character, I was sitting there thinking like, I had this conversation like, no, people would argue that Cloud is not the main character. I would think Aerith is the main character.
I can see how you think that. Yeah.
I feel like Aerith is the main character of Disc 2.
This too?
Yeah.
The
first disc, it's all about what's his name with the fucking Gatling gun hand and like
Barrett.
the terror cell that he kind of gets wrapped up in.
Barrett.
Like I feel like that's those are the main characters of the first disc, and that's that story. And then the story changes and widens out, and Aerith becomes the main character of discs like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then she, dies. Spoiler alert.
If they don't,
And then the story shifts again to focus more on Sephiroth and what's going on with him, and the Mako and the life energy and all that good stuff, in Disc 4. So I think the game is really 3 games. Honestly,
I'm gonna cry in the remaster. I'm not even gonna lie. like tune into the Aerith death, and I'll be crying like a baby on the stream. I'm not
Really,
not
like
about it.
I think 7. Oh gosh, it's what I'm saying. It's not my story wise. This is a more relatable story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because a lot of it is the death of the environment, and the death of the planet. Like and that's become more like we were talking earlier about politics in gaming. That could be a point where that is politics in gaming.
yeah, because it's companies that are draining the life force of the planet literally and killing it.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
And we're only figuratively doing it in real life.
No, we're literally doing it. No, the world is dead. Enjoy what you got.
It's just gonna be interesting to see. Like, there's a lot of people that have never played 7 because they thought the turnstile base wasn't for them, and to see it like with this, are you okay with that change? There's a lot. I know there's a lot.
There's a lot in that. Honestly, from I went back and watched it, and I want to rectify a statement that I made last week.
Okay.
I was saying that it was kind of more like a 15 style combat. I'm taking that back. It looks, from what I've seen now and what I've gone back and rewatched, it looks like it plays like 13's combat. So it looks like it's fully animated, full motion, whatever. But it looks like it still has to do with like the status gauges, the ATBs. So it's kind of it looks to me like it's gonna play more like 13 than 15.
Oh, well, I thought it was gonna be a mixture of let's say it's gonna be a mixture of 13 and Kingdom Hearts. That's what I felt.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that a lot. I was just trying to stay in the same vein as Final Fantasy.
yeah,
But
it's no more.
Kingdom Hearts is a Final Fantasy game. Don't lie.
Not 3. It's a Disney game.
Disney game, yeah. 3 is definitely a Disney game.
Well, that is a topic too. How do you guys feel about Disney wanting more games like Spider-Man and Fallen Order?
It makes sense. Spider-Man was a great game. Released to critical acclaim. Jedi Fallen Order has sold well beyond expectations, of course. And
so
honestly,
how much of that do you think is just trading on the name?
Well, I mean, that's what you pay for, but there's a lot of cool things that there's a plethora of cool stories you can tell in the Star Wars universe.
Right. But that's the thing.
It's just a cool place.
I never played Fallen Order. I've not played Fallen Order. I've caught you playing it, I think, for a grand total of 27 minutes.
Yeah.
About that I paid attention.
It was an amazing experience though, for real. Like everything that you could do in that game.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Is that a game that just trades in the name, or is there something to it?
Oh, it's just really good.
No, it's definitely like a Star Wars story, but it's it's its own thing.
It's like Respawn looked at a bunch of games that they really thought influenced them, and I mean this for literally, and put it in the game.
Yeah.
I still have to do the review of it, and I don't care.
That's the thing is, I don't think that Fallen Order does anything that's innovative necessarily, but it takes a lot of like really popular mechanics of games and cobbles them together into its own monster of a game.
Pretty much an example would be like it has that whole Metroidvania style of it going through the map, and then had to run back to the ship. You can't. There's no fast travel whatsoever. You have to find your way back. You got to make those shortcuts to go back. Puzzle is just like from Legend of Zelda. It's all in there.
Oh, cool. And like I said, I wasn't shitting on the game.
No.
I was honestly just asking.
Of course. Seriously, I feel like if you played it, you would love it.
Okay.
I know you're not a big Star Wars fan, but there's a lot of Star Wars fans that are Star people that don't like Star Wars that love that game.
Yeah. And that makes sense. And that's what I was saying. I wasn't shitting on the game. I was just curious about what it was, because I know a lot of the times whenever they do whenever they take a well-respected IP, I would say a lot of times probably 70% is a cash grab. Yeah. And my biggest thing is I can't sit through a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
But I've watched every episode of The Mandalorian.
Someone asked me do you have to be Star Wars heavy to actually enjoy this game? I said no.
You'll get if you're a Star Wars fan, they do some things in the game that will make you go Ermagerd, and you'll get some more out of it, but it's background stuff that's not important for enjoying the game as a thing itself.
I feel like from what we just talked about, this game is the game equivalent of The Mandalorian, because you Ash Stone, he's tried to show me Star Wars movies the first 6, minus the new trilogy, and I can't get through them. Yeah, but I love The Mandalorian, and I've watched every episode, probably twice. Yeah. So but I love The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian's a great show.
It's the point of it's a good show. It just has Star Wars stuff in it. So there's certain moments where we can watch an episode where Stone will go, well, I don't get it, but it's just a well-written show to begin with. And I would, and that was kind of my question about Jedi Fallen Order was
can we spoilers for Order?
No.
Okay. It hasn't been out for a year yet.
No.
Oh, okay. That was kind of my thing. Was is it a good enough game outside of the Star Wars universe, or is it good because of Star Wars?
Listen, there's some people that are not Souls fans that feel like they can go play a Souls game because of it.
Oh, well, that gets me then.
Yeah.
Because I'll play a Souls game. I'll understand. I would like to say that I would understand the story, the content of the game itself, but as far as the shout outs to the Star Wars universe, I don't think I get them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much like a Star Wars game. It's very much a hero's journey sort of thing.
I feel like I would still appreciate the game
redemption.
Yeah.
very heavy themes and stuff in that game. So
it's good. It's good because it's like, I guess it's technically canon. It's in the Star Wars universe.
Canon. Yeah.
So,
Sorry, we were talking about Star Wars style or Soul style games, and I heard canon, and my brain went nuts. I want to do one shout out to a game from last year is Sekiro.
oh yeah, Game of the Year last year.
Yeah, that game was amazing.
It's kind of funny because the Jedi Fallen Order actually plays a lot like Sekiro.
Yeah, like that's what we're saying. Like it plays like Sekiro for that, but like stealth and being smart and like all the aspects of like even just being a Jedi, like force pull push, like
It's all about counter combat
Yeah,
as opposed to dodging.
yeah,
You can dodge in the game. It's just shit.
yeah.
So you want to counter.
Souls games are all dodging.
So like
Yeah.
there's like modes like.
But Sekiro's all about it's counter combat.
What's the mode that I played on for most of it? I played on Jedi Master for most of it.
Is that like the very hard version?
No, Grandmaster is
Yeah,
the hardest.
Grandmaster's the hardest?
Yeah, Grandmaster is the hardest.
Okay.
So it's like way it is like Jedi Master is like as close to Souls as possible. And then like one below it was Jedi Knight if you just want to play normal.
Okay.
So like I played on Jedi Master for like most of the game, and then it's like, all right, I'm getting towards the end. I'm tired of dying to some of these bosses countless times. I'm just gonna bump it down to Jedi Knight. And
Oh, you can adjust difficulty in game.
yeah, you can do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you start on like crazy and you're just like, oh well, fuck me, this is way too hard, you can downgrade easy. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
What was the game? Stone. There was a game that you and I played, and I want to remember, but I don't. It's escaping me at this moment. That we said we'll play it on like the hardest difficulty to figure out how it went. And then like we couldn't get through the first fucking mission before we dropped it down. What was that? Was that Dying Light? I feel like it was Dying Light.
No, it couldn't have been Dying Light. I do know what you're talking about. I feel like, well, actually, no.
I feel
'cause
like
we
it was
did try-
Dying Light.
Yeah, it was Dying Light because we tried to replay it on PC and got weird with the controls and shit.
That's what it was. I feel like it'd be better now.
I feel like Days Gone if you play that on hard.
I enjoyed my time in Days Gone.
What difficulty did you play on that?
Just normal.
Oh,
Yeah. With Days Gone, you enjoyed your time with Days Gone?
Yeah, it was kind of weird though, because like the story was a little disjointed for me. Like a lot of people, like it tells the story out of order, of course, but it was a little bit more disjointed for me because like I couldn't just like do main story stuff, like because the mission prompts are weird because it doesn't like you complete a mission, you now have a new mission. A lot of times. Well, instead, what it'll do is it'll give you a new mission while you're driving around on your bike.
I hated that so much.
Yeah, and I'm just like, could you just give me the list of things? Can I like do one storyline at a time, please? Like,
Because
as opposed to jumping around all over the place.
But I mean, have you tried? I mean,
the way.
oh, sorry. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
What you're saying is, I agree with that because what it would be is that I would go back to camps that I did those missions for. And instead of giving me the new mission, it was like I would jump on my bike and leave the camp, and as soon as I left the camp, they would give me a new mission.
Right.
It's like, why couldn't you just give me that mission right then and there?
It's like I get it, like the game's about riding around on your bike and stuff, but it goes back to games respecting your time, and it's like, you know, I wanna interact with the game on my terms and do what I want to do with the game, right? And I want to complete stories how I want to complete them. So can you just like give me a mission list and just like leave me alone?
Yeah.
Like let me play the game.
I agree, but I also disagree from a different perspective. And it goes back to what I jokingly said before of the people that made fun of people that play games now play games.
Yeah.
Is all of us, anyone on this podcast, and I'm assuming some of the listeners, are gamers that have been in the industry for quite some time. And a lot of the times, whenever we played games, whenever we were first coming up, it was that way.
Yeah.
It was complete a mission, get mission. It was basically a series of fetch quests. It was go do this, come back to me, go to this person, do that, and it was a progressing chain through a story, which is what the medium of the time had the capability to do. But I feel like now they're trying to bring in more of a different viewpoint and more people that weren't gamers growing up. So what we expect out of games is the same thing we've had for 30 years. But you have people now coming in that are like, well, I want to have more of an experience of the game. Like you said, riding on the bike is a big part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So to them, it would feel more organic to be like, oh, I'm driving around, but I get a hit on the radio, or my phone goes off and I have to answer it for something. It's more of an organic experience in that light. Not so much, like, oh, I did this now because I did this. Here's a new quest.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're tearing sheets of paper off the wall.
Yeah.
To us, it feels natural, but for gamers coming into it or people that are just getting into gaming, that wouldn't be a natural response to something of like, oh, you did this. Here's 4 more things I need you to do.
Right.
Yeah, but we're just saying that like, not 4 seconds of me leaving your camp.
No, and I agree with that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
If it happened more organically, while you were out riding, like
I feel like they tried to do that and it just didn't click right. Like it got really close.
And I agree because I watched you play the game.
Yeah.
And while I was watching you play, it was that way of like you turn a mission in and then as you're leaving you get a phone call. It's like, okay, that's not an organic experience, but I feel like done well.
It can be done right, yeah.
It would be a thing. Like would it still annoy us as gamers that have played for however many years we've all been playing?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I feel like for a new audience or a new capture for that particular style, that wouldn't be out of the ordinary. And there's a way to do it right. That's kind of what I'm saying.
I really enjoyed how they brought in like the survival light aspects of the game, like managing your fuel and your bike and stuff like that. Because there's nothing crazy. Like you don't have to like drink food and water, blah blah, this, all that, the other. You can do stuff like that, and you get rewards for doing it, but it doesn't punish you for not doing it. But the big thing is like you have to manage your fuel and your bike and stuff, and that the more you upgrade your tank and your engine and get more efficient, you can travel further and stuff like that. You can go through that whole game without ever running out of fuel if you just look around.
Yeah.
You use the resources the game gives you. There's gas every goddamn where. It's fine. But, it's like, it's a little bug in the back of your head that constantly makes you think about, like, I need to make sure I don't run out of gas because I ain't pushing this bitch for fucking 5 miles.
Until I got that Nitro 2 and I was like, oh,
Oh, shit.
I don't even care
Right.
anymore.
There's a game on PC, and I have no problem to admit it. My favorite style of game is survival style.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've ever suggested a game to Stone, it's a survival game.
Yeah.
It's like The Raft.
Well,
Yeah.
Which I will talk about The Raft to death.
yeah, but you like that niche though, which is great. Like,
Yeah.
like survival games are good because it really pushes you to the limits of like.
It does. There is one, and I've been sitting here for about 45 seconds trying to remember the damn name, and it's just eluding me. But I want to say Rust, and it's not Rust. It's a one
Rust
word.
is coming to consoles later this year, though, I think.
Ooh, nice. But it's a one word title, and I can't remember the damn name. But
Yeah,
it's a
sounds
game
like
where it goes so deep into like what you have to manage. Like it's not just like
Is it Scum?
it's Scum. That's exactly it. It goes so far into it. Like you have to manage not only like because like in a lot of survival games, like I need to eat food, I need to drink water. You need food and water and sleep. It does a lot of that.
Yeah, but it cares
Scum
about like
goes into,
carbs
like,
and proteins
Carb
and fats.
content, protein content, fat content, like it all affects everything. Like it goes so deep that like even I get overwhelmed. And
Right,
I
well,
love
see,
those games.
That's what I'm saying is like, that's a little too deep for me. Now,
That's too much.
but I say you can do it similar to how like Days Gone did, but upgraded, right? So it's like you have to manage your food and water, but if you manage, your proteins, fats, and carbs correctly and stuff like that, then you get an extra bonus. I feel like you shouldn't get punished for not doing the crazy, in-depth ridiculousess, but you should get rewarded for doing it instead.
Like you can live off eating candy. It's just not a great life.
Right.
Well, I think the best part of Days Gone were the hordes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh,
Like, well,
Sawmill.
they were.
I hated that.
I watched them do it. Loved
Yeah.
it.
I feel like
I watched them die.
I feel like the story hordes were fantastic.
Yeah.
Like they were great. I loved it. I feel like every other horde is just kind of like, well, there's a bunch of zombies here. I guess that's cool.
So, a quick question: if you did the Sawmill Horde beforehand, did you still have to do it again?
Oh, I don't think you're. I never tried it, but I mean, you probably could do it. I'm not sure. I doubt it would really. I doubt it would make you do it again.
All I know is like I remember doing that horde and was just like, okay, let's take a deep breath for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. And then like it took me a few tries, and when I did it, it was like, and I'm a better gamer now that I did this.
Right.
Perry, let me ask you a question.
Of course.
As far as gaming is concerned,
Okay.
because I was actually just thinking about this. That made me think of 7 days. How do you feel about having the aspect in video games to be able to cheese the system?
To cheese the system?
Like, do you think being able to manipulate the system for an outcome is something that's good, or do you think that it's a feature? It's something that should be addressed in gaming.
You paid $60 for it. You should be able to do whatever you want with your game.
Okay.
Like, I play with people that. Prime example of this is Monster Hunter. Shout out to Monster Hunter Raw. They are just a disclaimer. They're just a toxic group, but like if you just want to play some good hunts, they're there to help you out. There's like people that used to play Xbox on there, but like it's a PlayStation group.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, this guy got a PlayStation, so they had what you probably know as a save wizard.
Mm-hmm.
So like he got it, and like they're like, dude, like who cares at this point? Like you put so many hours in the Xbox, and you got a PlayStation just to play with everybody else. Do what you want.
Yeah, there's a term called save scumming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that before. No, I've saved scrub, not saved scumming. Sorry.
Well, it's like
You use a quick save to like get the best outcome for things.
yeah, no, I wasn't going to explain it. I figured analysts wouldn't know what save scumming is, but like it's a point of I was talking to somebody at work about the other day because I hadn't listened to the podcast where I was talking about my Final Fantasy 12 run where I got that second Zodiac Spear that took me about 30 hours. I don't know if you recall that.
Yeah, I do.
But talking about that, he's like, well, why don't you do this exploit to get it quicker? And I was like, well, it's one of those things where it's like, you could do that, but then what's the point?
Yeah.
But then I can also see the other side of like, well, you wasted 30 hours in something you could have gotten done in 20 minutes.
I'll give you a prime example of that because I know the film. Me and my dad are kind of like that yin and yang when it comes to this. Final Fantasy 15, where you go get the Black Hood. It's supposed, if you go through it entirely, it's supposed to be about 10 hours of that realm.
Yeah.
Well, I saw, like me and my friend saw a video like where you can get it in about 2 minutes. Okay, I'm not about to spend 10 hours going down this realm. So I did it took me about 2 hours to do it, but once I got it, it was like, okay.
And that's it. But it's that, I feel like it's such a weird line of like, you can do it, but in what cases is it good to do it? At what cases do you lose some sort of content or lose some sort of feeling of a game because you kind of, I don't want to say scummed your way through it, but save scumming is in my brain.
Yeah.
But like that you just kind of like exploited your way to solving something.
Okay, so here's an example of that. So even in that sense of like running, it was the fact that I had already platinumed the game without any cheats or anything like that. So I just felt like, I'll just grab it. Because after I got that, I didn't play the game again.
That's a fair point. But like, it's kind of hit me recently because like, there's a lot of stuff like, take my Final Fantasy X stream for instance, is I've gotten into the gullible of spells, and I'm not even I just got to home in 10, which is like, if you play the game normally, is 10 hours. Like, but I'm at end game level black magic. Like, at what point does it become cheese?
Oh, yeah.
Or at what point is it? At what point is it that it's no longer about the game? It's just about the exploit or the, like. At what point do you grind so far that it's no longer entertainment?
Yeah.
Like
Are you talking like our base in 7 days? Where
yes.
It's just kind of like
It's exactly because the base we have in 7 days is built to such a way that the zombies can't climb it. So it's not a challenge. You're just pot-shotting zombies all the Horde night, which is a fine build. I'm not disparaging it, but it's just to me it's it's at what point, and because I noticed this while I was streaming, like at what point do you sacrifice like the gameplay for ease of play?
I get what you're saying. Well, is that different for like, let's say like my Witcher 3 playthrough of like I wanted to have every Gwent card and then like it said I failed the Gwent quest because I missed a card that I didn't know. Is that different if I go back and load in my save beforehand to get that card?
Well, see, I don't think so because that's not like cheesing a system. Like to me, it's like, oh well, take Souls games for example.
Okay.
Like, there's a way to beat a Souls game where it's like back roll off of, let's just say the Dragon Rider on Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. You're playing on a platform, and it's like it's very small. But if you go through the map, defeat all the enemies, and find all the switches, you can make it into a platform that you can't fall off of. Where it extends to the wall, and because every switch you pull throws on another layer on the wall, which A, gives you more room to dodge, and B, if you get all of them, means you can't fall off the map.
Yeah.
But if you just rush him, you can get whacked and get shoved off the map. But at what point does it become less of a skill of like, I can dodge backwards on this slice, dodge forward, and do like a push to get in and get like 2 hits and then get around. That skill level have to do that. But you could also just do Dark Souls the strafing, which is just get up on him, wait for him to hit, and then just move to the left and poke him in the butt until he's dead. Mm-hmm. So like, at what point does like cheesing a game take away from the experience?
Well, like I said, the guy that actually did the save wizard for Monster Hunter said that he did it, and he said he was just so bored with the game after he was done. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, you realize that you had to switch consoles, so you shouldn't feel bad about that.
Well, that guy I don't, because he put in the work already.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, because I've noticed just specifically, just like, I'm going to keep bringing it up because it's what I'm playing at the moment.
Yeah,
it's Final Fantasy X.
Of course.
Like I said, I'm going to keep bringing it up. But it's the point now of like, at what point do I, because I know everything in that game. There is not a single fact of Final Fantasy X lore, story, content you could tell me that would surprise me. I know everything about that game. I know every route on every sphere grid. I know everything that needs to be done. I know what enemies to steal from, what enemies to bribe. Like how to beat that game, how to play it 100%. It's all in my brain. But at what point does it come to? Because I noticed in some ways that I played through the game on like the Switch. Mm-hmm. Or, I don't know, sorry, not the Switch, I don't have the Switch. On the PS4, when I have my copy. Is I know what points to grind to what points where I can just sweep the content and not have to work at it.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you just get so far and cheese the system so hard that it loses all want to play the game?
Oh.
Because like I said, in Final Fantasy X, like I'm more to the end of the character sphere grids. And I'm just past Macalania Temple.
Oh, see, that's whenever you start the game over and don't play efficiently.
See, but that's the thing. It gets to the point where it's like, I could do that, but I know there's a better way.
There's a better way.
And I actually restricted myself a lot because if you watch my stream, I don't grind at all.
You don't?
Like in the stream, I grinded for about 12 minutes in front of Macalania. So I could get access to the God level spells. But that's it. Like, I didn't do any hardcore grinding. I didn't do any just insane stuff. I didn't do any like, crazy exploits or spend 2 hours grinding in a location to get to a certain level. But, like, there's a moment when you discover something like that. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where, like, you lose that innocence in video games. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why I wanted to ask what your guys' opinion was on that, because like I feel like it's to a point where it's like, okay, I know that if I do this, it makes the game easier, but at what point does it make it too easy or too cheesy to where it's not even worth playing?
Well, I guess do you feel like you're having a different experience every time you play 10? That's the question I'll have to ask. Like,
I do, but I kind of make it a different experience by myself.
Okay, so like let's say if you exploited in this one experience. It's going to be a different experience next time.
It is, but the thing that I'm running into in my stream is I don't want to stream a grind. So, because nobody wants to watch that, or if they do, they're not. So,
well, that's when you're talking to chat, though. That's the...
Yeah, and like I said, Ready Set QQ. Look it up on Twitch. I stream from about 6 to 9, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday.
You plugged it before.
I plugged it. So, but like, I like having a chat, and there's a Final Fantasy play that I did where I had 2 people in chat talking to me, and I enjoy it, because they ask me like why'd you stop there, or like why'd you grind here for 10 minutes, or like why'd you steal from that enemy rather than just kill it, so it's cool to have that interaction to talk to people because I know so much about the damn game that having someone to talk to is really entertaining.
Yeah.
And and it's that way about it. Like if I wasn't streaming it and trying to be at least somewhat entertaining or somewhat rigid in the playthrough, I would do more of my bullshit. like take Titus down the route of black magic, or take Waka through Yuna's path. Like just the dumbest crap possible to make the game more interesting. Just like switch the roles up, make Yuna like Orin with all the weapon breaks. Like just take like the characters that aren't meant to do stuff and make them do other things. And to me, the Expert Sphere Grid opened up a lot of just what I call bullshit runs, because you can twist anyone to do whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Because the Sphere Grid at the end of it, everyone will, if you 100% the Sphere Grid, everyone will know every ability with every different stat.
Oh, wow.
Because it's the same grid.
Yeah.
And what you can do in the Expert Sphere Grid, because nothing's really locked, everyone kind of starts in the same square and they move out. So you can take it to the point where you can be like, okay, I want Lulu to be my damage dealer, which Lulu is the black mage.
Yeah.
So like the story content is hilarious because it's like, let's have our black mage show you what she's made of, and then you cast the water spell, and the next turn you smash with like this little Moogle thing that she carries with her, and it is a physical attack that's not meant to do anything, but you're just like attack, and she does like 6,000 damage, and it's like, what the hell just happened? Where she's like the hardest hitter on your team for physical damage, and I love those bullshit runs, but I don't know if people want to watch that.
You people.
So like I'm going back to the efficiency run, but like I'm also cheesing it. So, like, at what point is I want your opinion for a game that you've played it enough where at a point you know so much that it becomes less entertaining because you know what you're doing.
Good gosh. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah?
Ocarina of Time, I can play that game hand to back. No problem. But I don't think I can exploit it, though.
But do you still find enjoyment in the fact that you know everything about
it?
Yeah. Okay, that was it because like I said, I had someone ask me in stream the other day, talking about the game, and I was like, I've beaten this game. I've beaten Final Fantasy X, including the Dark Aeons and Penance. Mm-hmm. Six times?
Good gosh.
If not 7. like I beat it at least 6 times that I can recall off the top of my head, and I think there's a 7th one. But I still enjoy it, even though I'm basically cheesing the game.
Yeah, I think the only one, I guess, because it is a reimagine, I don't know if you watched it, they did release the open cinematic for Final Fantasy VII yesterday.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, like it's just like reimagine, like it gave me goosebumps looking at it.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
But the thing is though, like I've beaten 7 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that like some things like I just don't want to deal with this again. So it's gonna be interesting playing the reimagine, going like I know what to expect coming up, but it's supposed to be a different experience. Mm-hmm. So it's like I can't let what I know about this game.
I'm in the same boat.
But what's funny is that I talked to shout out to Recency Bias Radio. He said he doesn't have an Xbox. He doesn't have a PlayStation. He's an Xbox fan, and he has a Switch. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Yo, bro, you're the first person I'm telling you this, but I'm thinking about getting a PlayStation Pro. I can't let the Final Fantasy VII fan in me not play this game, coach. Like I cannot."
I get you on that. I really get you on that.
like the fan in me, the inner fan in me, he's saying I had to go ahead and grab it. Like, why am I not grabbing it?
Say if he wants, I'll sell him mine whenever I get the PS5.
So you get what I was talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like for 7 days, for instance, like specifically, like the big thing with cheesing the AI and that is that, you know, if you don't, the game's almost impossible. Like, they have buffed the zombies so much in that game where, like, they just do an insane amount of block damage, and it's crazy difficult to try to actually, like, defend, like, a normal base against a zombie horde. Even, like, the first 7-day horde. So it's like, if you want to actually have a decent base and actually have time to go and do things, you kind of need to cheese the zombies right now.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense, but...
I was thinking more outside of 7 days.
And outside of 7 days, I don't know,
like a game you've played so much that you feel like you're cheesing it because of the knowledge you have.
Let's see. I mean, really, the only games that I have played to that nth degree, you know, to where it's just like, I know everything, is like Borderlands 2 and probably like Fallout 4, Skyrim. You know, those games where I've just dumped like, you know, 500 hours into or more.
I will give you that with Borderlands 2, which is why every time you try to get me in the last 2 years to replay that game with you, I just say no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing new in that game that I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like, and that's the thing about, like, when we think about, like, New Game Plus, like, where does that really lie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can play the game again, but it's like, okay, I'm just going to get stronger, but do I really want to do the story again?
Mm-hmm.
Steve, that's, and I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing when I say this.
Yeah.
But that, to me, is where the Persona games really come through and shine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really, like, are you going to be ready for Royal then?
Oh, I'm going to play the shit out of Royal.
Okay, like, that's the thing, like, I just don't like that the content's at the end.
I'm okay with it. And because I've talked Persona to death on this podcast, the same as I do about
I think we both know that we're an ambassador for Persona.
Oh, absolutely. Like I say, on this podcast, if you like Final Fantasy or Persona, you're probably not. But the love I have for the Persona franchise is basically that. But the ability to do a new game plus and carry over all like your academics, your social prowess, your all the stats you work on building over the course of the game, by bringing that back to the beginning, it not only allows you to access all these social links quicker, but because you're accessing them so much faster, you can see the end of certain social links that you normally wouldn't see in a standard playthrough. You can get a multitude of like on the new game plus, you can full experience the game maxing out every social link, almost accidentally, just because of the fact that your stats are so high, you're not blocked by anything. So it allows you to experience, you know, all of the side content, all the story, all of the abilities of the people, all the storylines that your character gets involved in. So to me, a Persona game with a new game plus is a game done well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of new game pluses. Like for one, and this is the only time you'll ever hear me talk bad about a Final Fantasy game, is 10-2.
Oh gosh.
Has that.
Oh gosh. Let's not talk about that.
Well, I actually don't shit talk 10-2 a lot because I like the dress sphere system. I think the AP build, the fact that you have to chain through abilities to get them maxed out. I like the way that game went about it, and I like the way that they expounded upon the Final Fantasy X universe. The only thing that I don't like is in the new game plus because you carry through all of your dress sphere achievements, like all the abilities that you come through with it. So it makes the second game so much of a cakewalk, but there's no new content. Because everything that you can access in New Game Plus is also accessible at any time in the main story of your first playthrough.
The only reason I did New Game Plus is to get my publicity up so I could see the ending. I still didn't see the ending, so I didn't care.
You didn't 100% it?
No.
Oh, man, I did.
I actually beat it, like, I think I beat it at 75% or something like that. It was just like, okay.
If anybody wants to that watches my stream, is just like, you need to play 10-2 and 100% it. I'll do it. like after Final Fantasy X, I'm probably gonna do a different game.
Yeah.
But like, if I get people that are like, I want to watch you do 100% run of Final Fantasy X too, I'll do it.
Yeah, for real. For a wrap up, how do you feel about the 10-2? Let's see. I think we talked about that on this podcast. It's like with Nomura, like he had sole control over 13 the whole thing, and then he went away to do 15, and then he did Kingdom Hearts. How do you feel about Oh, you can't say that about all 3 of them.
No, 15.
Oh, yeah.
No, 15. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh yeah. So but what is like? How do you feel about franchises doing that? Like where there's a part 2 to that game.
If it's done well, that's fine. It's the same with me with I'm gonna have the exact same opinion about this as I do about movies or about games that are based on movies and TV shows. Done well, phenomenal. Cash grab, no.
I'm gonna say this: you make a game that's supposed to be encapsulated in like a singular experience, and it's not supposed to have a sequel, and it's great. And there's a lot of ways to fuck that up.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of ways to expand on that and make it better and enrich it. You know, so that's all I'm going to say about that is that it's very easy to fuck it up.
And on that note, everyone go see Sonic.
There you go.
So,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
So what's your games recommended for this week, Jason? Old school, new school.
New school. I mean, I don't even need to say it. Check out GTA 5.
GTA 5? Okay.
Check out GTA 5.
Is that new school?
It is new school.
Is,
PS4.
yeah.
Is that new school? No, it came out on the PS3, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, it's new school now, bitch.
No,
They
it's
just
no, it's
shut
going to
up.
stay in session, okay?
They just released GTA Online Diamond Casino Heist like 2 weeks ago. Eat it. New content.
Whatever.
GTA.
Old school.
GTA.
Grab the Evil Within.
The Evil Within. Oh gosh, I remember starting that game up and jumping a few times.
Is that even old school though?
It
It is. Evil Within 2 is on new school.
Yeah. Evil Within is old school content.
Okay.
Because my last shout out was to Eternal Poison, and I want to know like the 4 people that listened to me and played that game because I love you all.
Eternal Darkness. I heard that was a good game.
That's a great game.
I didn't ever play it because it was just like,
Was it Eternal Darkness Descent into Madness? I think was like the full title or something along those lines.
good gosh, GameCube game.
Dude, the ability that they put in that thing to fuck with you while you're playing, like it would mute your TV, it would turn it off. Like if your psychosis meter got too high, there was an invisible meter in the background that you couldn't detect. But like if shit went too off the rails, like it would reset your console, it would turn off your TV, it would screw with the volume. Like it was so cool. No, it was Requiem for a Dream.
Ooh.
Was the end was the secondary title.
Quick question, GameCube question. I listened to it kind of funny because they were doing their iconic Nintendo games for each console. We should do that. Like go through each one and go like iconic or influential. We'll do it that.
Influential for each console.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, we should do that. And quick question, Soul Calibur, is that a console game for GameCube or no?
For GameCube?
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2. That's one where Link was in it.
That I have an exceptional love-hate relationship with Soul Calibur.
Okay, we'll get back to that then. So we'll get that when we do that podcast.
Yeah, we'll get Stone's opinion.
Okay, so recommendations.
So last week I recommended Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Yeah.
Correct. So I'm gonna recommend the even better game of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2.
It's nice cop out.
I'm just saying it is not often that a sequel is better than the original, and that is one of them.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking about like franchises. Yeah. Well, Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah. That's the only one.
I would say Kingdom Hearts 2, like I say, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 is better. Borderlands 2, I feel like is way better than the first one.
Assassin's Creed 2.
Assassin's Creed 2, yeah.
10-2 is better than 10. I'm kidding. I can't say that with a straight face.
I guess the name of this podcast should just be called Number 2.
And like Witcher 3 is like the crowning achievement of the Witcher games, you know? Because Witcher 1 is just kind of like, okay, I guess.
You didn't play Witcher 1?
No.
Okay. Shut up.
You shut up.
I did.
And?
PC only and I loved it.
And?
It was a buggy mess of garbage.
And? 3's better.
I actually like 2.
Okay. So.
Anyway. So that's my old school recommendation. New school, Control.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to shout it out last week, and I just couldn't think of the game at the time. But, I shout out Death Stranding, which is a great game, too. But, yeah, Control, Fantastic game. Don't sleep on it.
I have another one.
Okay.
Not a main console game, a handheld game. So if you do have a 3DS, pick up a game called Bravely Default.
Oh gosh, here you go. Anyways.
Hey, leave me alone.
No, they did announce that for the Switch. So.
Well, what about you, Perry? What you got?
Hold the fuck up.
Hold on, what?
What?
Yeah, you heard that right.
Bravely Default is coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. Yeah, no, Game of the Year. Game of the Year. Flat out.
So I guess I'll give you an old school. Good gosh, Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah.
God, I love that title.
Yeah. Everything it did for like. It switched it on me because I was so used to Ocarina of Time, and all of a sudden it went cartoony. I was just like, I'm not gonna like this game at all, and I really enjoyed it. And the fact that it was on the Wii U, I was able to play it, and it's like, yeah.
I think I played it on GameCube.
And then my other one is because you brought up the studio, which is Square, and Square is on the brink of doing some good things this year, hopefully. Octopath Traveler.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
I need to pick that up. That's actually a really cool.
It's on
game.
PC.
Yeah. We said it last week that CD Projekt Red still can do no wrong as far as the gaming community is concerned.
Yeah.
I would also argue that Square Enix is in that same vein.
They got a lot to prove though.
Outside of Kingdom Hearts.
They still got a lot to prove though.
Yeah, they do what they do this year specifically, but like, I don't think that there's a piece of content that they put out that I wouldn't at least try.
Yeah, because then again, it's more about Square America than Square Japan. There's a huge difference between the two.
Well, I don't know if we talked about this last week or we talked about this off the podcast. Was the difference between them a Western release of a Japanese game and a Japanese release of a game?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a difference.
As far as, like,
podcast, yeah.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
It was the difficulty of the games is massively scaled down for a Western audience.
Yeah, Persona.
Yeah.
Like just localizing. Oh gosh.
It sucks because like I love the original style because of how hard those games are.
There's another game. Oh gosh, but we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
If you guys liked it, of course, this will be everywhere. Good gosh, thank you guys for coming on like normal.
No wrong.
Play Dreams because, like I said, it's something that you need to play. You had to like feel it and see it. When you see everything that's being created on there, I can't wait to do the review on it. I can't say anything else because, like, when it's like I gotta treat this as like I'm under embargo.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not, of course, the game's been out, but still, just small goals to work towards. And thank you guys again. I'll see you guys next week. Later, guys.
See ya.